All right, everybody, welcome to the I Disagree podcast. You know, I can honestly say the reason why we've named it I Disagree is because it's two words I believe that have not only changed my life, but we all wouldn't be sitting here if we didn't say I disagree. So here's basically what we stand for. In the past 3 years, there has been more disagreements, controversies, opinions, ideas, failed expectations, character reveals, surprises, disappointments, lies, beliefs, assumptions, and bullshit than ever before. Here we go. You guys ready for the first one?
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night at 7 p.m., so it's time for the I Disagree podcast. I am obviously not the handsomely bald Dr. Patrick Flynn. He is traveling this week. My name is Dana, and I am normally a co-host, but I am stepping in for host, and he will be back next week, so never worry. All you big fans of his, welcome to everybody who is watching online. Please make sure that you are commenting and liking and subscribing and sharing this message with everybody that you know. If you want to see a topic or make a statement or help us come up with any content, please make sure that you are commenting, and if we use your idea, we'll definitely give you a shout out for that. If you want to be on the podcast, also make sure that you email outreach@thewellnessway.com, and our wonderful Erin will reach out to you to help get you scheduled. And just welcome everybody who is here, especially our four guests who are taking time out of their day and away from their family and away from work and whatever you normally would be doing on a Tuesday night to be here and just have a conversation with us. Lorenzo, thank you for coming back and filling in as co-host. Travis, I actually have to say I love all the extra time I'm getting to spend with you. It's been pretty great. So
hi.
Hey. So welcome, everybody. We were actually just talking, one of the things that we really love about the I Disagree podcast is how many people we have here who will say I agree and will say I disagree. And as you probably expect, people will disagree with statements and ideas for a variety of different reasons. But what we've really come to love is even if people are in agreement around the table about a statement or a topic or whatever it is that we're doing and talking about, they often agree for very different reasons. So it's been cool to see all those different perspectives in the, 10, 11, 12, however many episodes it's been so far. So with that, let's do our introductions. We're going to do name, age, marital status, kids, anything that you want to share, career, if you have a podcast, if you have a business, if you have a social media account, please plug it here. We believe in capitalism and want the best to survive. So I'll go first as host, and then we'll do our two co-hosts, and then we will do our four guests. So my name is Dana. I am 34. I'm married with two kids. I have two boys, Jack and Max. I actually went to school for accounting and business management. I'm still technically licensed, but that's about to lapse in like 2 months, I think. I was a CPA for 10 years. I worked on tax and then decided that that was definitely not for me anymore. So I switched over and did kind of a 180 in my career over to clinical nutrition, just given my big passion for natural health. And now I also help co-host and I guess host today this podcast. And I have a social media account called Dana Disagrees where I basically just support the patriarchy. And I just had a video that has a little more than 10 million views. So if you have not seen that, you need to all go watch that right now. Travis.
Yeah, that's me. I agree. But seriously, I'm Travis Frisk, son of Curtis Frisk and Cindy Frisk. And I'm 42. I have two kids. One is 19, one is 13. I have a smoking hot wife, Sarah Frisk. She is, for the first time, not in studio with me, supporting me or rolling her eyes, whatever, I don't know.
Whatever.
But
I was going to say, she probably still is rolling her eyes.
Well, they say behind every good man is a great woman rolling her eyes, and she's in Yorkville, Illinois. With Doc, she's actually with Doc right now, so they're having a good time doing the, I believe it's the birth control tour. No, I disagree. Tour. Sorry, there's so many things going on. We are so busy here, and that's a good problem that I can't keep it in line here. So thanks for having me again.
Lorenzo.
I am Lorenzo Tomas from Random Radio. That is on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, Minds. Well, it's on YouTube until they take us off, which could happen at any moment. You never know. They're probably taking us off right now. So you never know. But you guys can go and check out Random Radio at everywhere I just said, and if you need to Google it, at RRP Show, or you can email us at rrpshow@gmail.com, and you can not send me topics. You can be mad at me for the things that I have told you on the show.
Oh, he has good content. You guys got to go watch that. Ashley, why don't you go ahead, and then we'll go around that way.
Sure. I'm Ashley. I am the HR manager here at The Wellness Way. I'm married to my husband, Dave, for about 15 years now. We've been together for almost 20. We have 2 sons, Xander and Thomas. And yeah.
I just have to make an observation. Between you two, you can deadlift over 500 pounds.
Yeah, we can.
Sweet.
Woo woo.
Heck yeah. I can't wait to get back to the gym. So.
Nice.
Either, we miss you.
Yeah.
Mel.
All right, my name is Melissa Valentine Twomey. My friends call me Mel. I am a transformation coach, and I combine personal training and neurolinguistic programming and energy conscious elevation to help create deep healing and rapid transformations. I have a podcast called Dream Body Alchemy, and I'm going to go home after this and edit really, really late into the night because I'm here with you lovely people. I am 41 and I have a 19-year-old son that is in college. And you can find me Dream Body Alchemy on YouTube, Dream Body Alchemist on Instagram, just Dream Body Alchemy or Melissa Valentine. Just look me up.
Perfect.
Dang, that's a tough act to follow. My word, putting me to shame over here. What's up, everyone? I'm Zach. I am a chiropractic student down at Life University, which is tomorrow where that birth control talk is happening. 150 people signed up so far, so shout out to my fellow lifers down there. I'm 26. I am an intern here at the Wellness Way Green Bay and sometimes at the Wellness Way in Appleton. After I finish my internship here, I'd like to open up my own clinic over in the Philadelphia region. It'd be a big hit because we don't really have anything in that whole area, and I want that as my entire market. So
Monopoly.
I want to run enterprise up there. So yeah.
And just to follow him, this guy, he's awesome. He grinds. He's gonna be awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nate,
My name's Nate. I'm 41. I'm married with 4 kids. My oldest is 18. My youngest is 8. I own a construction company. Been in the trades my entire life, and we homestead, so kind of live the self-sufficient life.
Sweet.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Don't rely on the government. It won't get you anywhere. All right. Well, this podcast started with 2 simple words. I disagree that have really been a catalyst for Dr. Patrick Flynn's life for those of you who have been following him for any amount of time. And so we just wanted to be able to use this platform as something additional to bring more people in and let more people voice their opinions and speak with authority and conviction and say all the things that they want to say. So our goal here is to really challenge people and trigger people and break down barriers and push the authorities and all of the really fun things and just say the things out loud that we know everybody is thinking, because that's just what I love to do every single day. I'm just like to be sassy like that. And so before we even started this podcast, Doc and I were sitting around one day kind of talking about like what the vision for it was and all of that, and we wrote down this statement. In the past 3 years, there have been more disagreements, controversies, opinions, ideas, failed expectations, character reveals, surprises, disappointments, lies, beliefs, assumptions, and bullshit than ever before. And the purpose of this podcast is to correlate with his Saturday morning show called A Different Perspective on topics related to health, men and women, politics, and religion. Now, before we get started, we always want to remind people that on the I Disagree podcast, we largely talk about the rules and not the exceptions. So that's always really important because anytime you disagree with somebody or argue with somebody, and they always want to talk about the exceptions, all the yeah buts, right? And so the example that we kind of always give is, okay, well, I personally am against abortion. And then if you say that to somebody, the first thing you're always going to hear is, what about rape? And what about incest? And what about the health of the mother? And, all these things. Okay, but those are the exceptions to the rule. The rule is that abortion is largely used as birth control. So let's talk about the rule, and we can address the exceptions later on. So if we see you guys at all talking tonight about exceptions, we're probably going to call you out on that and tell you to try to get back to the rules. Not because the exceptions aren't important, but because we need to probably focus on the rules because those are the much bigger picture.
We should get a button we can push when someone's talking about the exceptions. Wink, wink. Just
Look, the mute button for Doc comes first. Yeah. All right, before anything else. All right, so we'll.
You better hope he's not watching. No,
I hope he is. I know. I say whatever I want. It just doesn't matter. Okay, so how this is going to work is I am going to make a statement that I agree with, and I'll say it twice just to let it, sink in for a hot second there, and then we will go around the table. Zach, we'll start with you, and we'll go this way. And the first round, you get to say 2 words. You get to say, I agree or I disagree, and that's it. And then when we come back around, then everybody will get a chance to explain why they think what they think. All right? Everybody got it? Okay. Men did not sign up for women to let themselves go. Oh, I know. Men did not sign up for women to let themselves go. Go ahead.
I agree.
I agree.
Agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, I know. I knew that would happen tonight. No, it's fine.
Mel, really?
That's why I started this with see, even if people agree around the table, we all have different things to say because I already knew what would probably happen tonight. All right, let's just go around the same way. Zach, go ahead and explain why you think what you think.
I think everyone has their role in a relationship. I think everyone has their strong points. I think everybody has their weaknesses. And I think when you first initially meet, you show the best of yourself, and that's what everyone kind of goes into it. Same going for men and women both. But if suddenly one of the relationship aspects, kind of like a contract, if you let yourself go, you're kind of breaking your own contract. And it's not what you agreed to originally in the terms and conditions. And if you business contracts don't end easily like that. So why should a relationship end that way?
Oh, that's very interesting. So if her end of the contract is not letting herself go, what's your end of the contract?
So so I have the answer. Trying to equate that clinically speaking, because we all know women have a cycle in the 4 weeks, but it's how I'm wired. I can't unwire it. So Doc always says it in his hormone connection talk is when you're a man, you agree to a woman, you don't just say I do, you say I do, and I do for the 4 weeks that they're in. I think that's your end of the bargain. You have to support the woman throughout her time, but I think she also has to support the men in different ways as well.
Mm-hmm. I like the word support. Awesome. Nate, go ahead.
I agree.
Yeah, we already know that part.
I think it becomes complacency and just overly comfortable. And being overly comfortable creates problems.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not paying attention to things, whether it's your health or your home or your neighborhood or your city or your state or your country, you end up in the shit we're in now.
That is so true.
It starts at home.
Yeah, it definitely does. Travis.
Yes, that's my name. Thanks.
Mm-hmm, you're welcome.
All right.
I remembered it.
So I've had the honor of marrying a few couples this past year here, and one thing I always preach is the marriage isn't the end; it's the beginning. It's the starting blocks. A lot of people, I think, have it backwards, where they think they earn their spouse, now they can hit the cruise control button. I call bullshit on that. I think you're just starting life together. It's time to move together. And part of that is being healthy. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but there's other forms of being unhealthy, like smoking or drugs or excessive drinking. There's a lot of ways. It's not just about letting yourself go from a weight standpoint, but you got to take care of yourself, because imagine being the flip coin of that. If your spouse dies before you because they didn't take care of themselves, that's heartbreaking. And it's just gut-wrenching to watch. We see it all the time, and we see it more now than we ever have before. So just to wrap it up, you know what? The marriage starts your relationship off together, working together to stay healthy.
Yeah. Good.
I agree. Wait, I already said that.
We know.
Lorenzo. I'm hoping for some sassiness out of you.
Yeah,
Even if Queen's here, I don't care.
I was kind of hoping you're gonna disagree for the sake of argument.
She's like, I don't care.
She's like, I don't care. She's put together. Yeah.
Even in a dysfunctional relationship, right? So I'll take, for instance, if you have 2 drug addicts, what typically happens is that 2 drug addicts are doing drugs, they find each other, right? When one person stops doing drugs, they become less desirable to the person who wants to continue to do drugs. Now, I understand that that's not a great example, but it's the example of exactly what you just said, right? When you sign up to be with somebody, you all have 2 mutual things in the beginning, right? Whether it's an attraction physical or it's mental or whatever the case may be, financial, whatever the case may be. If that man has signed up to be with that woman for the things that she wants and vice versa, when you start to change and these things are not changing for the other person and they enjoy the change, or they are with the change, or they want to change with you in that direction, you get that situation where it's not going to work out. So, and I agree with you. It's not just physical beauty. It's not just, health. Because like that's why I use the example of a dysfunctional relationship with two people who are doing drugs. Mm-hmm. I have an aunt who does drugs. She's been doing drugs my whole life. Every man that she's gotten with who's decided to get clean, she doesn't want to be with them because she wants someone who's going to do drugs with me. I don't want somebody who wants to be a father and he's going to get clean. So my uncles end up becoming in our family, and we don't really deal with her, but we've got these men who are really good guys, but we don't have her. But we understand. You enjoy that dysfunction. You're functioning in that dysfunction. And the way you're functioning, we think it's not working. But it must be working for you the way you would like for it to work. So she wants people who do drugs. And I think that when people when alcoholics stop doing alcohol, when the woman who enjoys the conflict, the relationship that's full of conflict, when that stops, when you guys are in the same financial status or that guy has a higher financial status, when he loses that job and that money's no longer there, that interest is gone. And so I think, I agree that men don't sign up for that. But I think it's also women the same way, because like you said, what do women need? They need a bunch of things. They needy a lot. So.
Way to just throw that in there.
I just need a sandwich.
Wow.
I agree with that
With the
too.
crust on or off?
I agree.
Either one.
Oh, okay.
I'm
All right.
desperate.
Ashley, go ahead.
Holy cow. Okay, so I am fully on board with like what everybody has said so far. Because I definitely look at marriage as the beginning. My husband and I, like I said, have been together for 15 years, and we have grown with each other to no end in these last 15 years. Like, yes, we dated for about 4.5 years before we got married, but we really didn't start learning about each other and growing with each other until we got married. Because that to me is a lifelong commitment. Marriage should not end in divorce. I believe I had seen a clip or something of Pearl saying that divorce should be illegal, because when you make that sacrifice or you make that commitment to marry someone, it's till death do us part. And so, like everybody said, a woman shouldn't let herself go. And if a woman starts getting to that point where she's down on herself, or she's slumped and she is eating too much, or, she just gets in her own head, because obviously women do that sometimes. I mean, we go like this. It's the man's job to, really help her and support her, but also, depending on what's going on, like, snap her out of it and really tell her, like, I love you, but get your shit together. And my husband does that to me all the time. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Right. Do you think that there needs to be like a delicate balance of, because we've talked before about how like men probably shouldn't tell women everything that they're thinking, and especially if it's like the weight and appearance issue, that's like super, super delicate for women. It'll like send them to tears in 3.2 seconds. So do you think that it would be super well received, like if your husband did come to you because you, I don't know, put on 20 pounds or something like that? Or do you think that would come better from like a friend or somewhere else?
I think the husband needs to be the one to say it. Same thing with, if a woman buys a new dress or a shirt or something like that, if the husband doesn't like it, if he thinks it doesn't make his wife look attractive, he needs to tell her. Because if he's not telling her that information and that type of truth, what makes you think that he's not going to tell you other truths that need to be said? So I think if a woman starts putting on weight, the husband needs to say something and be like, okay, what do you need to cut out to be healthy? This color looks really good on you, but this color doesn't. So maybe you need to stay away from this one, or something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, hang on for a second before we get to you, Mel. So I want to know from the men at the table, because you brought something about how like you'd be okay if your husband said something like that to you, but from like the man's perspective, do you want, or like how willing are you to go to your woman and tell her that like, hey, you're not looking so good, or you know what I mean?
Unfortunately, an asshole.
Okay.
So it comes out.
Yeah.
She knows everything I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Whether she likes it or not, it comes out, and she always tells me toothpaste words. I try. You can't like put the toothpaste back in the tube after you squirt it all, after it all comes out.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I tell the truth, because I hate hate holding it. It's just that anxiety you get that builds up after a while. But no, even Sarah, like I just wish, I look better in this. Well, honey, get in the gym. Let's go. And then I used to get, the anger or the or whatever. But now she just decided for herself this last couple of years just to grind. And now she looks the way she wants to. And she's strong and she's consistent and she feels better about herself. It's not just about the appearance. It's what, I don't know about you guys. I only speak for the guys here, but when we lift, I'm not going to kill someone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's such a stress reliever to be able to get out and exercise. And for me, I love lifting heavy, which is why I'm so mad that I can't get in the gym right now. But just being able to lift weights and stuff, yes, like you said, you look good, but you feel good on the inside because you can get that stress reliever out and just, like you said, grind.
Yeah, yeah. Zach, what do you think?
All right, so I've been told many times by my girlfriend. We've been dating for 7 years. She's always like, your delivery sucks. And I laugh because I'm like, no, I just say what I think. Like, I also think if it gets to 20 pounds and you haven't said something, then other people are going to start noticing. And if you let it get to that stage, then you're also failing your end of the bargain. So it should come from within, from the relationship. And if that's what makes a relationship falter, then there's probably not solid ground that it was built on anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I agree with Zach.
Yeah.
That's a big problem. So one of the biggest things, of course, is communication. So if you say, I think this, I think this. If the woman understands what kind of man you are, right? She got with you. She knows the asshole you are, the delivery that you have, the way I say things.
Why'd you forget me?
It is not changing.
Exactly. So the way I see it is that woman understands who you are, right? So then when you say, hey, you looking a little, looking a little thick there. You're not looking Nicki Minaj thick. You're looking more Lizzo. I'm gonna need for you to scale it back. Scale it back, right? She should understand that this isn't coming from a place of disrespect because she knows this man, right? So my mother is like that. Like my father married a woman who's very direct. He knew that. So when she was calling him 230 and saying you BLT because that's LLT, that's Lil Larry, and you Big Larry, obviously because you big. And my father was not a fat man, but what he realizes that she doesn't like what she sees. And she's trying not to be like, yo, get your ass in the gym. She's trying to be like, yo, I'm going to find humor in this, but, you're getting a little healthy. And my mother told him, it's not about how you look. It's just about health. It's really not about how you look. She said, I'll take you how you are. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be here forever. Right? So my father heard that better than, all right, okay, 230. Because that's what because he's 5'7", so 230 is not, ideal.
That's fullback right there.
Well, yeah, he ain't playing no football for nobody. But I think that comes with that, right? If that woman understands how that man had his conversation, how his delivery is, what kind of man. I mean, she's been with you for 7 years. She should already know how your delivery is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. So if that woman, however, can't handle that, then yeah, something's wrong. Right? Something is wrong there. And that's really and same thing with a man too. Like if you've married a woman who is very direct, she says to you, hey, I've always been this way. I mean, if you start getting, you start looking like, you've been eating too much, you're getting a little flabby, what's up with your money? What's up with your looks? What's up with you? Then yeah, she should address that. And if he can't handle it, I don't know. Something must be wrong there. Something changed with those people.
Yeah.
I think this is a really good segue to Mel here, who's the health coach over here.
Who's the health coach? I know. Go ahead, Mel.
Hi guys. Well, I was being very entertained by everyone. So honestly, for me, this can be a touchy subject because I'm out there helping women, become their best selves and feel better. And I really do believe that physical health is the foundation of your life, like your mental health, your emotional health. So letting your physical health deteriorate is going to affect all areas of your life. It's going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect your money. It's going to affect pretty much everything. And overeating is just another coping mechanism, just like drug use, just like a shopping addiction, just like gossip. Like all of these things are coping mechanisms. And so if you're allowing your loved one to go down and downward spiral, which basically it is, like, I feel like that is not a sign of love. And that's also speaking to women who, you know, with the body positivity movement that's going on. Like, I understand it where it originally came from, but they're talking about they use it as a coping mechanism and they wear that as a badge of honor. And I'm thinking, how about we focus on your mental and emotional health instead of allowing your physical health to be a punching bag, and let's take care of all of it. So, and I mean, like I said, so it's usually emotional or mental to start off with, but the physical part, once you start letting that go down, it's going to spiral.
Right.
You know, I always think about David Goggins. It's just
yeah.
whole this letting yourself go. I talked about this before in the podcast, but it's a good story. And if we can try to get back to this, like we're doing now, like just talking about things out in the open. So David Goggins talks about, I think call her like Betty Lou, we'll say, at a family reunion. He hasn't seen her in a year, and she's put 40 pounds on. Now, the majority of the population, I think the rule, that most people will play nice, you know, Betty Lou, you look great, you're doing good, everything's good, right? And they get in the car, they drive back, we'll see you next year. And it's like, oh my gosh, you see Betty Lou? She got fat. We need to get back to, you know, Betty Lou, you know, I'm using you because you're the skinny, right? Yeah. I'm messing with you. I can say that because you're not going to get offended because you know you're in shape. But hey, I'm going to go, hey, you know what? Are you okay? I mean, it's not like you. You've been the same weight for the last, you know, as long as I've known you. In your adult life. Why have you put 40 pounds on? Got health issues going on? You have that hard conversation up front. Otherwise, you're just doing this, and now you're part of the problem. You mentioned gossip. Now you're just gossiping about someone you're supposed to love.
Well, you know, everybody would benefit from having a sassy black grandmother, you know, or a sassy black aunt, you know.
That's why I watched Medea.
I watched
Medea.
You get you the big mama who's sitting in the chair. She can't move. She got the sugars, diabetes. She got the sugars, and the sugars. I got the sugar disease, and then she tell you walk in and a big woman say, you didn't gain, like you getting big there, girl, and then you like, grandma. Well, I see you. I got eyes. I mean, I see you there. You're looking like you gained 45,000 pounds. You hear that and you like, grandma. It's like, well, shit. Lose some weight. Yeah, and you find you a man yet? And then you be like, no. Well, I see why, girl. Shit, it's too much woman for one man.
Does anybody ever watch Medea? Medea? No.
I mean, I've seen Medea, but I have a grandmother who will tell you that.
That's what you remind me of.
I had two grandmothers. Like my other grandmother would definitely, she'd sit around the room and she'd be like, you in there with all them white people, baby? In front of all y'all. In front of all y'all. You okay in front of all these white folks, baby? And I'd be like, grandma, they can hear you. That's fine.
Grandmas don't care.
That's
when,
fine.
when grandma sees a white person walk in the neighborhood, do they go, there goes the neighborhood?
No, she just be like, I don't know what they doing out here. Well, it depends on which neighborhood it is. It depends on which neighborhood it is, right? It depends, right?
Yeah.
So if it's a nice neighborhood, well then I understand, right? But if it's like the hood, then either she understands, okay, that's the baby who be at the drug house. He nice. He a sweet baby, but he on the drugs, right? So she probably know him.
It's got some coping mechanisms.
Comes over and mows the lawn.
She give him $5. She know he gonna go in.
She give him some Werther's candies.
No, she give him the money so he can go. Don't come back.
All right.
I know you'll come back to do chores. If I don't give you the money, you'll be back to do all kind of robberies and stuff. So no.
Oh man, that's awesome. Oh jeez. Well, one of the things that, I guess I'll go and I'll take my turn now. One of the things that I always have said, or I've joked about this for probably like 8 years now, is that I have 2 goals in life when it comes to appearance, but also just random goals in life anyway. And that's to be a trophy wife and a MILF. Because, hey, those are my 2 goals. I proudly state those. And because I think it's important look, men are very visual, and that's not a secret. I'm not saying anything new there. But so on this podcast, if you've been watching for a while, Patrick talks a lot about the 3 M's for men, right? He talks about mind, muscle, and money. But we also made up the 3 S's for women, and that's sexy, serene, and support. And so obviously we're talking about sexy tonight and how important that is for women to maintain that in their relationship, because that's kind of like how you were saying before, holding up their end of the contract. And I think at the end of the day, and I'm kind of speaking on behalf of men right now, and I don't want to do that. So if I say something wrong, the 4 of you have to jump in and tell me that I'm wrong. But men, they want to show their women off. right? They want to parade her around and they want to be proud of her.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. That's
I
why you
agree.
brought Queen and she looks all great sitting over there.
That's part of the reason why I could not date many of the Caucasian women in northern Wisconsin, because I cannot show off a woman who is 6'1" and 300 pounds. I don't want to show you off.
Nope. No, and you shouldn't, because that's not what we should look like. That's not what we're
Come
meant
on,
to
man.
look like.
If she's not 280, she ain't a lady.
Hey now.
Hey yo. No, but I feel really passionate about this, because I think this idea of women like just letting themselves go and thinking that it doesn't matter anymore, that's actually very disrespectful to our man. It would be like the equivalent.
And to my eyes.
Exactly.
Very much so.
The equivalent would be like, okay, so if a woman, say, like doubles in weight or puts on 80 pounds or whatever it is, that's like the equivalent of your man going from CEO to minimum wage worker. Like that's the same like feeling that's, going on. And a way that you can just even show your man that you love him, I feel like, is just actually putting effort into how you look and taking care of yourself and being in shape and looking presentable and carrying yourself in a very confident way, because again, he wants to be proud of you and he wants to show you off. And men like to be able to do that for their women. And women, I don't want to hear from any of the feminists in the comments at all, because we should all be happy to also be paraded around. It is fun to know that he takes pride in you. I think that's my opinion, and I can't understand anybody who would like possibly disagree with that.
And I like fashion. I love being able to just put on whatever I like. That is my thing. Like
you want to look the way you look.
About for guys, but I mean for the women too. Like, don't you want to just be able to wear whatever you want to wear? Like, maybe it's not all women, but it's definitely something that I love. I love getting dressed. I love being able to put on what I want to. Going out to dinner, going dancing, like. Being the MILF. I was going to say, I thought my middle name was Lauren for the longest time, because that's what my mother told me. I got my birth certificate 6 months ago and found out it was Valentine. But the reason why I bring that up is you were talking about being a MILF. And so when I first started my business, I went by Mel Lauren Fitness. So I thought maybe at some point I could transition into MILF, but now my middle name is Valentine. So
it doesn't matter. Stage name.
Yeah.
I still go with both, because I'm pretty sure Lauren is still hanging out on my social security card number. So like if I need to like change identities or.
They're gonna come for you. I don't know.
I'm
a little worried for you.
Can we erase this part on the podcast?
No, because we're live. This isn't one of the recorded ones. We're live, so this is just, it's out there already. It's too bad. Zach,
Sorry, if you hide yourself from the government, that's not a problem.
I know NLP. I'll just do a little hypnosis on everyone right now, and they won't remember.
Time's not real anyway. We can just bend it, and then it's just fine.
Exactly. This never happened.
Exactly. I don't want to hear anything in the
seen The
comments about that either. Zach, I was going to come back to you, because you talked before about like people getting comfortable like in their relationships, and whether that's like men or women. And so why do people get comfortable? Why don't we just keep going for the best of ourselves?
Because your priorities change. You change what you want. First, you go for the pursuer or pursuee, depending on who you're talking about. Women want to be pursued.
Yeah.
Men want to pursue. And so their priority is to be the best, to get the best. And so suddenly they got who they want to settle with, and it's just that they're settling because their priorities suddenly change from getting the attention, getting the affection, whatever it might be, to, okay, now I just switch to whatever it may be. If there's something behind the scenes that might be causing trauma, or like, I don't know, if there's toxic thoughts in there, if they're mentally, like they're going down a bad path. So their priorities change.
Right.
And if they cope in a negative way, then they're not going to be focusing on what's best for the relationship and what's best for their man. They're going to be focusing on, how do I just get by?
Right.
And some people are in that situation, and they stop focusing on themselves and they stop prioritizing themselves, which then puts the relationship also on shaky ground.
Right.
I'm curious. You're 27? 26. I'm curious to know. So you've been dating your girlfriend for 7 years. People who are single your age. What is going on here, man? Like, how are you all dealing with this and coping with this? And how are people even having functioning relationships in your age range? Because they're so
crazy.
fucked up, bro.
Yeah. I have no idea. I've been... so,
Most
disclaimer.
of them have kids.
Yeah.
That's true. as a disclaimer, I've been doing long distance for about 4 years now too. So we've really had to build that communication there, because it's without that communication, there literally is nothing. There's no physical contact. There's no nothing. And it's nice to see her once a month when I see her, but after that, it's texting and FaceTime. So as far as kids my age, I think they lack the long-term drive to succeed with someone. They want that short-term pleasure hit. And so if they're constantly going for that short-term pleasure hit, it's a dopamine rush, but then they also lose it really fast, so they want to gain it really fast. It's kind of like the scrolling factor on social media.
Right.
And so it's constantly that, like, you know, you're looking for the clickbait, you're looking for the likes, you're looking for that, like, hey, I can, like, this person likes me, this person likes me, this person likes me. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, like, 10 guys like me, or 10 girls like me, but there's nothing meaningful behind it, but it's that rush of adrenaline and serotonin.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
And to go off of what you're saying too, a lot of it is society is telling you that you need to put your career first. You need to go for your career. You need to go for college. You need to, you know, better yourself to make more money. And so both men and women are putting off those long-term relationships for such a long time because they're focusing on their career. They're focusing on, you know, climbing the corporate ladder or whatever it is, that they aren't concentrating on the relationship that they could have had years ago, and they lost it because they were so focused and so honed in on, you know, getting that education, building that career, making more money, when they should have been trying to build a family. And that's where I think a lot of issues are nowadays, is too many people aren't in that mindset to build their family, to carry on traditions, those conservative based traditions that need to come back into play.
Right. Well, and if I can be Doc for like a hot second, because this is probably where he would jump in and say something about women in the workplace who are pushing themselves. What are they doing, right? Because typically women are more feminine in nature, and typically men are more masculine in nature, right? But if you get women in the workforce and they're pushing and pushing and pushing, and they're grinding and they're trying to be a man, then they're bringing out those like really masculine characteristics inside of themselves, the aggression, the competitiveness, the more of the independence and things like that. And what ends up happening to all those women?
Single.
That too, but they
I'm
get
seeing the Dutch test now.
but they get sick, right? That's what he
Yeah.
talks about, you
They
know,
get
all
so
the time.
stressed out.
But to your point, Nate, too, like, yeah, a lot of them do end up single then, because they get into their career and maybe they're making some good money in their 20s or early 30s, and then they think that they don't need a man, or no man is possibly good enough at that point. So then they end up in their 40s, and then they're probably not that happy anymore. They don't have a family. They pretend, like Chelsea Handler, that they are happy because they don't have kids and things like that. But
I think a lot the reason why it's going the way it is you need to be with your partner. You need to establish roles right away. Roles need to be established, right? Once you establish that role, you start to build a team, right? This week, I haven't been able to perform my deal, what I'm supposed to be performing, and that's when your partner, your teammate comes and picks up the slack. And once you start seeing the slack, it's benefiting each other rather than competing against it and bitching and moaning and saying, hey, I just did the dishes for the last 2 weeks. Get your hands wet and start doing them. No. You pitch in and you do it together. And that's a lot, you know, because of the lack of that is now we're not putting the effort into our relationship. That translates not putting the effort into yourself, which translates not putting the effort back into your relationship. And it's a cycle. And now you're fighting. And I eat because I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy because I eat.
Food's really emotional, though.
Excuse me. Just went off to get in
Well, I
touch
think
with.
it's also something that you said earlier, right? So you got so many, so the demographics are changing with marriage, right? So like one of the things, this is, so, you know, I'm not the spokesman for African Americans, but I'm going to use an African American statistic
you
because
should
I'm
be.
African American. So there's a statistic that existed maybe about 10 years ago, and it was 86% of the United States black families are illegitimate. So that means that 86% of black households had African American kids growing up without dual parents in the house, or even a parent, just one parent in there completely. that has now changed to now it's almost 92% of the African American demographic is this. And it's growing in the white demographic as well, where now it's at 65% of the white population is doing the same thing.
Remember sorry to interrupt, that you were 100% correct. Always, I'm going to tie on to the government here. The government's been separating the family units since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Now then we're required to feed them, or the government's required to feed us, right? Mm-hmm. Don't feed the animals because they become dependent. Right. When you become dependent, you become complacent, you become lazy. Go ahead and fight amongst yourselves.
Exactly. And so in these communities, if nobody is, so like the Mexican community, for instance, it's not getting that high, right? If it is, it's because you have women coming over here seeking asylum, trying to do the anchor baby thing, or they're seeking asylum and the men are staying back, or they're coming later. Right, so they're only single for a small period. That man is still in that home, and it's still a big family dynamic amongst the Hispanic community. Oh yeah, Abuela is in the house, Tio is in the house, the cousins are in the house, the next door is some family members. Yeah, but the problem is that black and white Americans, I'll say that because not Nigerians, correct, not white foreigners. I agree. So black and white Americans have decided separation is better than being with my family. But then also in the community, I don't talk to my neighbor. I only talk to you when we go outside and cut the grass. I don't deal with you. So if my kid is doing something and you come and tell me, I'm looking at you like, what the fuck is your problem? Why are you in my business? And so what has now happened is, in the household, if the kids aren't seeing two people compromise, right? Like I saw my mother, who's a feisty woman, deal with my father, who's very like, he gets real fired up real quick. And I saw them compromise on stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't know why you two were even together for 43 years. But man, 43 years of two people who are very headstrong. And now my father is the guy, he'll just call me up. This is his buffer. He'll say, hey, your mama getting on my nerves. Call her so she can get on yours. You and I have the same family, it sounds like. Exact same. Done. He's done with me. He's like, I'm done with her. I'm done with you. I don't want to talk to you about it. I don't want to talk to her about why I'm having you call her. Call your mama and leave me alone. But I honestly think that's because my father had an idea. I'm not leaving this woman. This is my child. It's too many, especially in the black community, and this becomes something big in the white community. I blame hip hop 100%. But when the hip hop community started saying, I don't need to be a father, when the black community started praising black men for not being in the household, when women started saying, I don't care about no man being in the household, I'm getting a check from the government. This then this then changed and it became a cultural thing. So even black affluent kids started falling into this same trap. Then it became a white thing, where white affluent kids, because 16 and pregnant, Teen Mom. These were all shows that were saying, you young girls should do this. You young girls should go and get pregnant with these young boys who don't know what they want to do with their lives, and you don't want to do what you don't know what to do with yours.
Hey, where are your parents going when they're elderly and they need help? Where are they going? Are they moving in your house?
No.
Hell no.
Not now, right?
No.
Right.
Nope.
Because we don't do that anymore. Now we put them in the home. So we get rid of them. So that whole community aspect, even in the house, is gone. It's just not there. So how would people your age or younger see any kind of a semblance of what a real relationship is?
That's why they're turning gay.
I was just now. 2, the alternative lifestyle stuff. So now I can date this Mike. This is we are together. I don't know.
I agree.
Travis has had 4 weddings.
He just
do it again.
There's a lot of people married to you, Travis.
But it's normally my mic.
Oh, yeah.
Just like one person.
But
I'm saying,
I'm saying you can now date whoever you want. So what is a relationship, right? It's like you said before. So now you can just, there is no real longevity to it. There's nothing really to gain from it. So now it's kind of like a notch, right? Or I'm just doing it so that I can, for social media, or I'm just doing it for my group of friends or whatever. And so now it's like, well, what is a relationship, right? I can date this woman or this. This is my girlfriend. You all are together for a week. You all are 27. I see if you were 13, but you're 27. You had a girlfriend for a week? How was that your girl? Oh, I broke up with her. I'm now dating this woman. Dating? What is that? If you're screwing, you're screwing. But what are you all doing?
Talking. That's what they call it now. Oh, we're talking.
We're talking.
We've been exclusively talking for like 6 months.
Right.
Isn't that dating? No.
Right. And then men don't.
What do you mean no?
Men don't take women out. Women don't appreciate men being chivalrous.
Yep.
Feminism has
Real women do appreciate that.
real women do. Real women do.
100%.
Yeah.
Feminists little girls who want to be men, but they don't know that.
Exactly.
So they're acting like 14-year-old little girls.
Okay, but remember, they're delusional. Just to be clear with everybody, those women are
Indoctrinated,
delusional.
They are living
Totally
in a delusion.
indoctrinated.
They are. And so then so now you take a woman out, you grab the door for her, and she's like, you don't have to do that. You pay for her meal. She says, no, I'll pay for my meal. And it's like, look, that's not how this works. Like, I had encountered that so much when I was single and I first got up here. I was like, I don't understand. This is a conservative area. In Illinois, I would have expected this in Chicago.
Yeah.
But more women in Chicago were like, okay, I'm used to a gentleman. I was like, that's strange. I wouldn't expect a liberal city to have so many women who want a traditional man. But up here in the conservative area, these women act like, you're going to pay for my meal? Like, do you want to pay for this meal? Like, I don't even understand what's going on.
Not really.
And then, but apparently that's what they're used to, or that's what they've seen. Like, that must be how relationships are functioning today, where nobody is used to a man being a gentleman, getting your door, taking you out. That's like so strange. It's almost like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you so generous? So now I'm questioning you.
Damn it, Lorenzo, we were this close to getting the girls to pay for our meals. Here we
As a
go.
broke student,
Back to
Pull
square
out
one.
that
disagree.
credit card.
I guess
No, but
how
the-
you present yourself is also going to attract what you're attracting to. So
That's
if
true.
you, know, you
Right.
go back to taking care of yourself and everything else, it's like people can present, and that's kind of a big thing nowadays is everyone's kind of presenting how cool or liberal or open they are. And so that is one step that you can take is you can just, people are presenting, what their values on their bodies. So, you got to find, if you want a conservative man, you want to find a conservative lady, you can usually
That's
spot
true.
them in a crowd. I mean,
true.
back in my day, we all colored our hair, lots of colors, and I'm kind of sad they took that away from me, but back in the Christina Aguilera days.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, true. You can't really do that anymore in the conservative front.
Yeah. Well, I got a buddy, Kels. Shout out to Kels. I told him I was going to give him a shout out.
Oh,
Kels.
yeah.
I got a buddy, Kels. Kels, he doesn't understand why he can't find decent women. And I told him it's exactly that. I said, how do you present yourself? He said, I present myself how I present myself. I said, that's an awesome answer. I love that. And he said, I ain't taking no bitches out. I said, well, that's a problem right there. You're not taking bitches out. You shouldn't take bitches out. You shouldn't take them anywhere but outside to shit in the yard. I don't know why you're taking bitches out anywhere else. And so he was like, well, you know what I mean? I ain't taking no hoes out. I was like, you shouldn't take hoes out because hoes ain't loyal. That's what Chris
belong
Brown
in the
said.
garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, they belong in the garden. You're right, and then they belong in the corner, so you shouldn't be taking them out anyway. They're already out. Bring them in the car. You shouldn't take them out anyway. So I understand. Don't take them out. But what I was trying to get at was Kels doesn't realize that it's the type, like, you want the slutty white girl, right? That's what he wants, the slutty white girl. He wants the porn star Puerto Rican. He wants the stripper black chick. I'm like, well, it's a lot that comes with those kind of women, right? I mean, you
Problems, man.
I mean,
And some things you can't get rid of.
I mean, so you want the white girl who looks like she's a slut. Okay, well, then she probably is a slut, So she's not gonna be with you forever, and she's not gonna be about you. You want the black chick who's ratchet. Well, he doesn't really like black women anymore. Because he likes Dana.
Yeah.
So he really, I mean,
Hey.
and he doesn't
Hey, girl,
think
hey.
she's slutty, but he really likes her, which kind of makes me concerned. Is I'm like, maybe he's changing. Maybe he likes conservative women.
He's
and
just
that's
he's increased his standards, obviously.
obviously.
Well, then if he
You are
increases
not his
even
type. You
more,
are not what I would expect from Kels. Not at all.
well, if he increases them even more, you might start to like, conservative white men. you just don't know what the it's
Nobody
like,
likes us.
no.
The straight white male is the most discriminated against population at this point.
This is true. This is
Yep.
very true.
Finish your
100%
statement.
agree with
I'm
that.
Yeah,
sorry.
please
But,
go.
I'm sorry, but that was it. That's all I was saying is that you're right. You're right, Mel. It is like that. And a lot of men want porn stars, right? They want the chicks who are in the porns. They don't realize that woman probably has a husband. The same thing with the rapper chicks, right? The Ice Spice, the Cardi B's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cardi B has a husband. I mean, she's a mother, right? When she's not doing that, that's her job. When she's not doing that, she's a mother. Nicki Minaj is a mother. I know all that looks great, but she's a mother. She has a husband. They're telling these young girls to do something that they themselves are not doing.
Yeah.
They're not doing any
Yeah.
of that. Beyonce will tell you to go do all that freaky shit, and then she goes home to her husband and her 4 kids. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's not trying to do any of that stuff. But I think that it's what we're presenting. And then you have the women who are presenting as negative. So then who are they supposed to get? I mean, what kind of man wants this negative woman who's saying, I'm not going to cook, I'm not going to clean, I don't want to work, I'm not going to work out, I don't give a fuck what you think, I know more than you don't know anything, you're just a man, don't mansplain to me, don't man do anything for me. It's like, so why would a man want that woman? But then also, why would a woman want a man who says, I sit at home and play video games all day, I have no ambition to work, I do not want to do anything more but just be this guy I want to be cool for the rest of my life.
I want to split everything 50-50.
Oh, I want to split everything 50-50. I have no ambition I don't have a car, I don't have a house, I don't do anything but just sit around and smoke weed all day. You know, it's like, why would you want that guy? But this is who people are dating.
So many thoughts right now.
Do you want to share them?
We got more
Otherwise,
questions.
I was gonna say, I'm like, hey, we kind of started talking about like the whole like gender role thing, right? And we've kind of fallen out of that in terms of society. But what if, I don't know, how do you guys feel about bringing that back? What if women were barefoot pregnant and in the kitchen? What if the men were the ones who were the breadwinners primarily and well, they still kind of are, but like the main ones who were out in the workforce? Do you think the workforce would improve in terms of quality?
Yes, and women have a purpose, but
It would be reduced if that was the case, because men would do more things for their home.
So
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Go.
No, I
Go.
was just gonna say,
Fight.
no. What is wrong with having a traditional home? What's wrong with it? I'm sorry. If you have a wife who wants to do something, support her. But you guys got to fix that on your own, communicate that on your own. But there's nothing wrong with the man who's supposed to provide for the wife. There's nothing wrong with that.
But we want that boat, bro.
I know, boats and hoes. I get it. But here's the thing: we're trying to make women men.
Yeah.
Right.
And some
men women.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no, I'm getting the surgery tomorrow. So it
supports. I'm saying it supports the boats. It supports the fancy cars. It supports.
But
we want that stuff too.
Right.
Then our wives have to work.
I know, but what I'm saying is the woman should have the choice. The man should have the obligation. That's what I believe.
So
Go,
if
Zach.
you look at the jobs, that if you took the average money it would cost somebody to cook, clean, all the things that a traditional housewife would do, it's equivalent to a salary of something in the range of $200,000.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
So is there bring home
Yeah, something
money
like that, yeah.
$200,000? You hear all these
Stay
women
home.
who want a man that make $100K and 6'1" and blonde or whatever, and you know, if they could bring in double that by just staying at home and helping the family, the family would be way stronger. Society would be way stronger as a whole. And you would get better, like, quality of life. Especially as a man, you now suddenly don't have to spend money on cooks, cleans, whatever it is. And it's the equivalent of having $200,000 just sitting at home.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't somebody want that financially?
Right.
Agreed.
Ladies, like, how do you feel about this, right? Because you both work outside of the home. So what if you went home today? What if that's how society flipped? Like, what do you think of all of it?
I did it for 3 years. I was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I was able to homeschool my kids. Obviously, it was because of COVID and all that bullshit. But my husband and I were able to discuss everything, and we were able to make that commitment financially. We knew that we could survive if we needed to. And I mean, I'm here now because I flat out told the people that I was interviewing with, I'm like, I don't need a job. I'm like, it has to be something that I want to step away from my home. But I loved the morals and values of this company, and that's why I'm here, because Dr. Patrick supports the women being flexible because he knows their roles. He knows that if a kid is sick, usually it's going to be the mom staying home with the kid. And if there's something going on with the kids at school or sports or whatever the case may be, he knows that the mom is the one that's probably going to be taking care of it. And dropping off at school. So coming into the office later, whatever the case may be. So knowing that I have that flexibility, that's why I'm okay with being at work. Plus I love my job, but, I loved staying home. I loved being able to cook my husband meals every night. Not every night, of course, but most nights. I loved being able to sit down with my kids and read with them and, do school with them and all of that kind of stuff. And it was, I think, one of the best times that I had because I think it brought our family closer together.
Yeah, definitely. Mel, what do you think?
Well, my son is 19, so it's been a while, but when I had him, I actually went to school part-time and I had a job. So, and the dad was still providing, but we were all together. But what I feel is that I think there's women, they really have this drive, a lot of them, not all of them. So again, this is something where I would say it's really up to the individual, because I know I have this like deep passion to create things, and I have because I run a business, I have this in me, and that is part of what drives me every day. That's what gets me excited every day to get out of work, is to create things for women to help better their lives, to help them feel more embodied, to help them feel healthy, to help them feel sexy, to help them just really feel more empowered. And, if I wasn't working, if I wasn't creating that, then that might not be there for them. So I really do believe every person is born with a different path. And so, yes, I believe that having broken homes is not great for anyone. I come from a broken home, from a single mom, and that was horrific, and it really damaged most of my upbringing, and I still have residual traumas that I'm getting over because of that. But when it comes to working, I think, that's definitely on the individual, but I'm not against it. I know a lot of people are so against the woman staying home or so against the woman going to work, and I feel like in that case, that should really be the woman's choice, and then she has to choose her partner based off of, how she envisions her life. I see nothing wrong with being barefoot and being home. I think of being barefoot in nature though, and burning sage.
That too.
And I dressed appropriately so everyone knows, that I'm the sage burning girl who's barefoot in the woods. But yeah, I really do think it is because you guys are all career women, so I think that is up to each individual.
Yeah.
I think, let me ask you a question. So if you didn't have to work, would you?
No, probably not.
And is it fair to say that the majority of society is screwed because we've created an environment now where we have to have two people working? So,
well, look at mortgage rates and vehicle rates, and nobody
affording anything.
Right now, it's you look at mortgage rates and mortgages and homes and whatever the case may be now compared to even 10 years ago. It's but salaries stay the same. So mortgages doubled and tripled, but salaries all stayed the exact same. So women, or families, I should say, that back in the day were excited when a dual income was $80,000, because that was really good money back in the day. Now you have that same couple making 80 to 90,000, and they're just barely getting by. So they have to work.
During the Trump era, we made significantly less than we do now. And we had money to go shooting. I'm talking bi-weekly, buying guns, building guns, all these things, spending time together. That was our date night. Now we haven't gone since Trump was there. But people didn't want to vote for him because he made you feel bad, even though he helped.
He's
orange.
The bad orange man.
Orange man bad.
That's the
Orange
problem.
man bad.
Those are all orangist people practicing orangism. Disrespect.
Disrespect.
It is so
no
disrespectful.
respect.
Have you guys? Oh, sorry.
Good. That's fine. No. I got my point across.
I was gonna say, have you guys ever looked at what the annual income was for the average American during the Great Depression?
I
like
have, but I
12,000
don't
or
remember.
It was less than that.
Yeah, it had to be.
But
less
if
than
you
that.
equate
was-
it to today, and adjust it for inflation, it's about $100,000. So if you're
Dang.
making less than $100,000, you're making less than the average American did during the heart of the Great Depression.
Wow.
So I think that goes to show where our country is at large, and so it's almost financially suicide to not make that much. And obviously there's how many people in that category that don't
Yeah.
make that? Like,
Right. Well,
Yeah,
we're
and
just
barely
being,
scraping
we're just
by.
being stolen from day in and day out. Is
One of
really
the
what's
things
exactly.
My
happening.
wife and I decided. I mean, it was the long decision to kind of get rid of the big cars, the big boats, the big house, and shrink. I mean, we're semi off grid. We have the ability where I could do one side job a month, and she could literally stay home, and we'd be able to do it comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
She's still working, and so am I. But I mean, we still have the ability to just be like, "Nah, I'm done. I don't want to work today. My wife doesn't have to work today." You know, where our family's gotten a lot stronger and a lot closer since, but it's hard for people to grasp the way that my wife and I live. Right? We heat with wood. We have to go to my parents to get water currently. We don't have a mortgage. We don't have car payments.
That's awesome.
Don't
Yeah.
have to work. Kind of do, but we don't have to full-time work.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, how many people can say that they can do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, if
Like,
I didn't have a
almost
job right now, I mean,
none.
I couldn't build a house.
Right.
I couldn't do. I could.
Where do you
Make it.
shower? Where do you? How do you heat your house? Where do you shower? Where
Where do I go if the TP's empty? You know, I mean, we're
Right.
going.
Well, most people
Planet
don't have the
Fitness.
discipline to
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. Shower.
shower,
Oh.
shower, and all
Shower
those
and
things.
TP at Planet Fitness. Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm write that down. Thank you for the feedback.
You might set off the hunk alarm though.
What'd
By
you
the way,
say?
do I
I
need to
said Travis might set off the hunk alarm at Planet Fitness.
He probably
I think
would,
it's a
especially with
long
his
arm, but-
chest exercises that I
See?
can't do.
Shows how much I go.
It's important to be able to do.
jeez.
I can do that too.
Hey, my eyes are up here.
Yeah? Okay, I was
Well-
looking at your cross. So.
I'm gonna report to HR.
Okay, you go for it.
Is that
I'll see you
before
in
or
the
after
morning.
your surgery?
Okay, sounds good.
You said cross, and I thought you said crotch, and I was like, really?
No, you're right. You heard it right.
I did
No.
hear right.
Eyes are up here.
Well,
Not
and
quite.
Nate, that's really cool that you do that though, because most people wouldn't have. That's like discipline to
Right.
actually be able to live the way that you do. So
Have
good
a
for you.
16-year-old son in the mix though. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, teenagers.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say they don't have any opinions, so what's the difference? They're not. They're they're afraid to voice them.
I agree.
Well, to bring back to our statement though, and talking about like appearances and all of these things, Mel, at the beginning you kind of brought up like body positivity, and that's probably something that we should touch on, mostly because I hate it so much. So I would like to be able to talk about it. And so, what are we? I mean, whenever I look at body positivity, I'm like, okay, first of all, and I want to know if you agree or disagree about this. I feel like that's more of a concept that's like okay for women and not that okay for men.
Yeah.
Right? Like men, if they're 400 pounds, that's disgusting. If a woman is 400 pounds, she's totally beautiful. Except
I'm
for
sorry,
she's not.
but you're
Yeah.
lying to yourself if you
That's
think
gross.
that it's pretty to be fat. I don't care if you're a dude or a chick, handsome, pretty, whatever. It's stupid. You're making yourself sick.
Yeah.
You are.
So here you are. You're just making an excuse why you don't have to change.
Yeah.
No, I'm accepted by society because I look good.
Yeah.
Good.
Right.
In my
Right.
size 30 bra and underwears. And, you look nasty.
Right. And you know what? You know who
Don't
like
ever go on a trampoline. You'll break it and you'll jiggle.
But you know who really does not help this though? Women do not help this at all because okay, you have all seen women. I guarantee all of you have seen a woman post on Facebook who is very overweight and said something about loving her rolls.
Yes,
right? You have
queen.
all
And
seen
all the women are
this.
saying, yes,
Yep,
queen.
and yeah, you look so. No, they are
so
lying.
beautiful.
They
Yeah.
are lying, and
Well,
then you never
all are
see men.
vicious to each other. You all will do that. You all will lie to each other.
I know.
And,
It's
and
crazy.
tell each other, yeah,
No, I'm here to
girl.
say knock it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
girl,
To
you
all-
do it. And then when they die, you'll be at the funeral saying, I loved her. She was my best friend. Them shoes so cute. I'm finna take them shits. And all that. You all are crazy to
I can't
each
wear
other.
any of her clothes though because she was so fat.
Maybe two of you could fit in her.
I think honestly, to summarize this, all the body positivity people you've been lied to,
Yep.
you're not. Look, it's not the end of the road for you. There's still time. Just figure it out because your body will start responding in a very bad way, and then you're gonna wonder, down the road, why do I got cancer? Why do I got diabetes? Why do I got this? A stroke? Well, all these things. Stop listening to the society telling you what you're supposed to be and you're okay the way you are. Yeah, you are. When it comes to my faith, I believe that. But when it comes to how you look, you're unhealthy. Okay? So, but going back to it, hey, you're not, you can get out of the woods. You can figure this out. It's one day at a time, right? Change your mindset. And you know what? You can get out of there. There's a lot of people that I know they let themselves go. They're upset. just get back on the horse. And if you make a mistake, don't quit and say, oh, I screwed up again. Just keep grinding. You know, I mean, I know that I work all the time. I know you work all the time, you know, and I always grind. I grind. So when I do have a bad day or I do have a weak day, you know what? It's one. But you know what? I got a fat man living in my brain and I got a strong man living in my brain. And I listen to him more. He wins sometimes, but he wins like 99% of the time.
Right.
So just change your mindset. And you know what? And get rid of that stupid woke body positivity. It's stupid.
Right.
The only person that's going to lose is you.
Well, it's a religion. You
It
know,
really
Yeah.
that whole
Yeah.
thing is a religion,
Right.
And the God is delusion. So they really do believe that this is real. They're not gonna get sick. They're only sick because the government is infecting their food. Which, yes,
Are they wrong?
okay.
Are you wearing a tinfoil hat right now?
I must be. I mean, but
At the same time, though, this is a two-sided coin, right? Both of them. If you're gonna talk about, you know, this is a sickness and it's become an idol. The body positivity has become a religion to them. There's a flip side to that coin, right? I'm a devout libertarian, right? You do you. Keep it over there. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna keep it over here. I love you from over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's a two-sided coin, right? If, you know, I love my wife very, 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 very much, and if I sense that she's letting herself go, you know, I'm all about her being positive in her appearance, but let's positively put in some effort to try to make it more positive,
right.
So I don't know. The body positivity is good for young girls who are being bullied, but mom and dad better up their game and say, come on, let's go do something active, or let's do something active.
But
right?
they can't either because they're body positive. They're woke too. You know, they're so woke they're asleep as well. So they are sitting around.
But not all of them.
A lot of them are.
A lot of them are.
lot of them
Like
are.
what, 2/3
But-
of us are obese or
But
something
is
like
the
that?
rule
I'm
a lot of
saying
them
the
are?
body positivity should be for young girls, not
right.
41-year-old girls
Anyone's.
Right.
sitting, you know, in their indented spot on the couch.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I don't know. I guess.
Well, and you brought up like the both sides of the coin thing, and that's good too because we talk about this a lot with like, you know, more of like the LGBTQ thing, but yeah, like fine, like everybody is free to do what they want at the end of the day, and we do support everybody making stupid choices if that's what they want to do.
Yep.
But like the thing is though, the body positivity thing in this case, it's so shoved down your
It's
throat
not even their
that it's
choice.
okay.
It's not even their choice. I
No.
don't even think these people have a choice in this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know the whole body positivity movement. I don't know the whole thing. I don't
Well,
know
they
much
don't
too
move.
much-
Well, they do.
I don't know the body
To
positivity.
the fridge.
Yeah.
I don't know the stationary.
Yeah.
To the cupboard.
Yeah. To the
To
Chick-fil-A.
the TV.
McDonald's to Burger King to Taco
not
Bell.
McDonald's. They might go to Chipotle and grab 2 burritos.
And
That's
a
healthy
venti
eating.
Starbucks.
That's healthy eating.
Okay.
Right. That's healthy.
Sure. And then they'll go to
Quick Trip.
Panera.
Quick Trip. Yep.
Yeah,
they got good
and
food
Panera
there.
to get their salad.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, to get the meat with the lettuce on top.
Yeah,
'Cause-
sure.
right.
Or to get it bunless.
There you go. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I grow most of my own food. So
Because you know I'm making healthy choices.
Exactly.
I'm eating that salad or I'm eating that burger without a bun on a lettuce wrap.
a lot of
Yeah.
our food is we grow it ourselves. So I can't say Taco Bell's a treat for me. But
Oh, Taco Bell is so gross.
Ew.
It's so gross. Just stop
Taco,
it.
Taco Bell is where hope goes to die.
Yeah. For real.
2:30 in the morning on a Saturday night
Nope.
when I was 20.
Yeah.
I mean 21.
Oh, yeah.
41.
Some,
41.
back in those
41.
days, you couldn't tell if you're hungover from Taco Bell or from the alcohol. Fine.
Well, you'll know in the morning.
Yeah.
You'll know.
So when it comes to body
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
positivity, I would like to just kind of bring back the whole idea of like the self-love and people and how they're taking action and where they're taking action from, because I feel like, again, it's with the coping mechanisms, but I also believe that when we talk about being more disciplined and doing the hustle and even doing the grind, I believe that a lot of those things can still come back down to coping mechanisms,
Yeah.
because there's I gotta push myself to prove my worth. I have to do this to prove this. And it all is going to stem from some kind of coping mechanism, because what I believe is that if you are coming from a place of like you're fully healed and you've done the deep work, you are now going to take all of your actions from inspired action. So basically, like, no one has to motivate me, and I don't have to be disciplined to dance. I love dancing. I put on my, my 90s R&B music and I dance around. No one has to motivate me. No one has to discipline, or I don't need discipline. I don't need a reward. I am inspired to do it. And that's how I feel about working out.
Right.
So I feel like for anyone in any area of their life, if you're relying on even discipline or motivation or accountability, it really is just, again, another sign of not having that deep healing. And I think, all of this comes right back down to it, is that there's some part of them that isn't healed, and they're using the food, they're using the body positivity so that they can fit in, so they're feeling worthy, that they're feeling special, that they get that, like, look at me, I'm special, I'm loved. But really, when it comes down to it, it's just another coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And I can agree with you on that, because actually I did used to cope. I was fat. I was 270 in 2013. So I get it. I know exactly what I was doing. I was coping. I wasn't dealing with my problems. So at one point, though, the doc always says, and I'm going to go make it really inappropriate here, but that's just too bad. It's an I Disagree podcast.
Yeah.
How long are people going to wait around for, how long are you going to wait? How long are you going to let the person who touched your pee-pee when you're a little kid affect what you did or what you do for the rest of your life? I can speak openly about this. My wife went through that. She doesn't have a pee-pee, but you get my drift. But she decided, hey, either I'm going to stick this way or I'm going to change. And she chose to change. So at one point in your life, you have to make that decision for yourself. Like, you got to stop coping with negative things like drugs, alcohol, food, yada, yada, porn, or whatever, the scrolling addiction, or just not doing anything, depressed, whatever, video games.
Yeah.
You got to make a change. You got to be honest with yourself. And a lot of people can't do that because we teach you all the time, the news, the media, yada, yada, yada. You're fine just the way you are. So that anxious belly you have all the time because you're a piece of shit is okay. That's acceptable. Bullshit.
When
It's
it comes
not.
to trauma, though, here's the thing, though. It's not just a decision, because we're talking about conscious versus unconscious. So you can consciously want all of your desires, your wishes, your aspirations, your highest self. You can want this consciously, but it's your subconscious, that 95%, that is really taking the wheel.
Right.
So,
It's
and
your
if
programming.
and if you go around and you talk to people, 60% of women have had some kind of trauma like that. I would say 100% of humans have had trauma. And so instead of, necessarily going, you should just get over that, because I don't believe you can just get over it, because it does affect your nervous system. It becomes a subconscious, like, action that you're not consciously doing. It's literally, trauma is not being able to respond to things intentionally. So you have responses that you're not actually in control of. That is one of the definitions of trauma. So I would suggest, if it's so prevalent. There you go. Thank you. If it is so much so that maybe instead of in schools them teaching us about gender and all of these other things that they're teaching us, maybe they should have, like, trauma, like, informed classes where they help these children, because all children are being traumatized one way or the other, whether it's a big trauma or it's a small trauma, because children are mainly subconscious. And so whatever's going on in the family, whatever a coach might say to them, it doesn't really matter. They can be traumatized because they don't understand the big picture. They don't have the ability to understand that. So when it comes to things like that, I would kind of go back and go, we have to maybe kind of get that into the schools if we realize 100% of people are traumatized.
I
Agree,
100% disagree.
I think we need to grab a shovel and start digging, because you're right with the trauma. I get it. But what's the cutoff before you're just ruining your entire life? So my point is this: my wife, when she acted the way she did, all through her teens and in her 20s, she had a case of the twos and certain things and triggered and this and that, but she decided to start digging, and it hurts. And when it hurts, you're probably digging down the right hole, right? But you have to be responsible and mature enough as an adult to start doing that, because if you stuff it all the time, you're just gonna get sicker and sicker. So at some point, you have to stop making excuses, and you have to start digging. When I get an anxious belly or I'm antsy in the pants or triggered about something when someone says something, I pump the brakes. I go to the gym, or I go to someone I trust in my circle, and I talk about it. And I try to figure it out so I can get it off my shoulders and get back to fucking work. I mean, I'm sick and tired of that being the advice.
A lot of that on your end, though, came from your mom and dad were together, right? Your parents were married, and your father did a good job of teaching you and your brother discipline.
True.
A lot of the families and a lot of the stuff is based on lack of discipline. You can't discipline the kids in school anymore. You can't discipline the kids at home. You can't discipline other people's kids,
Right.
your neighbors.
You can't even be a 10-year-old and discipline another 10-year-old that's pissing you off anymore.
Yep.
You can't even do
You
that.
can't meet me
Right.
at the
Get
bike
punch
rack.
them in the
There's
face.
no more of that.
That's how we all did it back in the day. Like,
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you can obviously tell we have a little bit more discipline. He's lucky. I don't know what if he finds a single girl without kids, you marry it. Period. Right? I mean,
Good luck.
at your age, you marry it.
Do you speak English? Let's go.
Yep. If she's single, no kids. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, will you marry me?
Yeah.
Figure it all out later.
I agree. I agree with that.
I want to hear this.
I don't agree with the only thing I don't agree with is this. So here's the thing with the trauma, right? So everybody goes through trauma. So then everybody is fucked up, I'm assuming. So then we all need an SSDI check.
I think, well, here's the thing. I think there's different forms of trauma.
Okay?
And you deal with people who have major trauma.
So here's-
I think it's good to know how to deal with people who have major trauma. A lot of people have major trauma, and this is coming from someone who has gone through major trauma.
So here's the thing, right? So it's always, this is coming from someone with trauma. This is someone who's gone through major trauma. Everybody is not going through trauma. Everybody has experiences. Some are negative, some are bad, right? I mean, some are negative, some are positive. But this is not trauma. Trauma is things that are significant. Like I would agree that a sexual molestation, a rape, a murder, you watch someone get murdered, important in front of you, that's a trauma. It is not a trauma that I say what I'm saying on this podcast if somebody is offended in the comment section.
Right.
Fuck you, right? So now be traumatized by that. So that's not a trauma. It's not a trauma that you don't like LeBron James because he won. It's not a trauma that you're fat and people when you walk out in the streets, they may be seeing you, right? And you don't like that. But I understand what you're saying. But what we've done is we've taken real trauma, just like we've done the same thing with mental illness, right? So there's really psychosis. There's real schizophrenia. Now, road rage is mental illness.
Yeah,
now
we bulked it all together. That's what you're saying.
And it's
like
the same
too
thing
broad.
with trauma.
Yeah.
We've basically said, well, it's everything that you experience is a trauma. Everything that's negative is a trauma. We don't even focus on positive experiences anymore. We don't say, well, did you ever have a positive experience? And how did that affect you? Did that leave you with a lasting impression that was positive? It's always negative. It's
Right.
always trauma. And this person did this to me. And I suffered from this ism. And this person said the wrong thing to me. And that person was mean to me that day. And that teacher didn't call on me when I wanted them to.
It's-
and
Well,
that
now
man
you're
wouldn't
just
give me a
this like
job.
victim mentality.
That's different, though.
Well,
I think
what's the
having
difference
trauma
between
and
what's the
being
difference between a
victim are
victim and a
Yeah.
person hollering trauma all the time? What's the difference? Y'all both
I
bitch
have
ass niggas.
trauma. And I have trauma, and I have a business, and I have a condo that I paid in full, and I don't have any car payments, and I'm taking very good care of myself. And
Okay.
my son is probably the most mature intellectual person I've ever encountered at 19. So you can have trauma and not be a victim. And I would say anyone who is a full-grown adult screaming trauma from being offended or being triggered, I say that's totally different.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with
you're
that.
disciplined though, so
Right.
Like
There's a
this
difference.
boils to you need
Right.
to be disciplined.
Exactly.
Right? You've learned whether you were disciplined as a child, as you grew up. I can see that you learned self-discipline.
Well, when I started my business, I came into some money because I was very poor and homeless and a lot of things growing up. So, growing up and not really having any family and going through a lot of trauma, and never having money, that, I know it's very black and white to be like this or that, but I'm saying there are instances where people don't have the resources. If you are, like this day and age, people are struggling to feed themselves, and it might be no fault of their own. There is a level of what's important. So if your survival needs are not being met and you're doing your best, it's a lot hard to work on self-actualization or anything else that you might need.
But you started a business. You said you were homeless and you started a business.
Well, that wasn't. There was a lot of stuff.
With or without the money, it sounds like you were disciplined enough and you had the idea to start a business because you didn't want to be homeless anymore.
And this is what I help women with. So
Yep.
I am saying, I'm coming from the position of being one place struggling really hard, having a lot of dark days.
Yep.
And pulling myself up, but also like having a thirst for like self-help and like learning how to. I've healed myself from a lot of traumas. I still
Right.
have some of those, but I'm just saying, like, I believe that we can do a lot more work if we understand that kind of stuff and don't just slap oh, you're being a victim or you're useless or and now a lot of people are like I don't believe in giving handouts and saying poor me, and I don't believe in
But how do
victim
you
mentality and
determine
try to
what? How
empower
do you
people.
determine when you're giving a handout and when you're actually dealing with someone and dealing with their trauma or whatever
Yeah.
they're having? Because okay, so here's what Travis was saying from what I got. When do you deal with the trauma and when do you just let the trauma deal with you, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so you dealt with the trauma, right? But what you're saying is that you want the school system to deal with the kids'
Correct.
trauma.
I would have rather have had someone there for me when I was going through
You
a
would
lot of stuff
not.
because
Let
I
me tell
didn't
you,
have
you
any
would not
family.
have rathered that because that person would not have been the best person to help you in the school
Yeah.
system.
That's the
Not in the school
absolute
system.
worst
No.
place
Not
for
in the school
anything.
system. Now I do think
Reading,
that
writing,
someone
and
could have helped.
arithmetic.
I think
That's
someone would
it.
have helped
That's
you,
it.
but
That's
not in
it.
school. Not in the school.
The idea is sound, but it's not because of our system.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's not that your idea is bad. It's that school system would put a terrible person.
Well, I'm
That's
saying
the,
we
that's
gotta
the
change
same
school
government
system
that's
then.
separating the family unit and the neighborhoods
As
and the
fast as
city.
they
Right,
can.
exactly.
That's why
Exactly.
my
that's what I disagree with is the
Yeah.
school being in charge. I mean, look at so you have school counselors, right? They're supposed to help high school kids get to the next level.
Right.
Now the tech schools are coming in and helping the kids get to the
Right.
next level. So what's the counselor doing?
Well, and I wouldn't say the school specifically. I believe that there are people who are really renowned that have done a lot of research in this. And it's not even like going in and trying to fix, but I think if there's some kind of awareness, like I had something for almost 30 some years of my life that no one knew I had. And if I would have had any kind of awareness when I was younger, I think it would have changed the trajectory of my life, and I wouldn't have had to wait until
Would
I
it
was this
have?
age.
Is the trajectory of your life going in a direction that you don't think it would have been going in that way if you had these changes? Because you seem to be on a pretty good
Absolutely no.
trajectory, right?
It seems that way, but I would say, like I said, it didn't go from homeless to having my own business. There's like 25 years of
Yeah, that's
I can barely remember.
but that adversity made you stronger, right?
Correct.
Right.
I don't know if I wanted to be that strong. I don't know if I definitely don't want my son to be that strong. I look at
Oh,
him
yes,
every
you do.
day and
Why?
no, I don't. I absolutely do not want him to be that strong. Not that strong. I do not
So
because
you
I
want
look
good
at
times
him,
create
son to have
weak
a
men.
You want your son
Right.
to have a weakness?
Right.
No, I don't want him to have a. No, okay.
A
I'm gonna
weakness,
make
not
this.
the
This is
not
good talk
black
here. I
and
like
white.
this. This is good. This is
Just
good.
make my
Not
job
black
easy.
and white. So, like I say, my son is very self-sufficient. He does all of his own things. I was the type of parent who I didn't coddle him, but I didn't like yell at him. I didn't spank him. I didn't have to do any of those things because I respected him and I understand how to talk to a child and now a young adult. So I speak to him on that level. When I look at my son though, as he's grown up through diapers to being a young man and being an incredible young man, I put myself in where I was at his age, and I would not wish that upon my worst enemy. I believe you can be strong without having a horrific life.
Right.
I 100%.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
I'm
That's
just saying,
no.
I don't
yeah.
want him to be that strong. He's stronger than me because he didn't go through the traumas I went through.
Is he strong because of his father? What did his father do?
He's strong because of both of us. I think we're both really great parents.
Okay.
We're both
You
there in
you
his
sound
life.
like it. I'm just saying like you want your son to be like a Hulk. You want him to be serious. I'm serious because then he'll be a protector.
Right.
I want my son to be a sheepdog, not a wolf,
Yep.
not a sheep. And you want to know how I did that? Because I whooped that ass.
You want them to be dangerous men.
I would
And
say
that
my
don't-
son is a sheepdog too.
That's
He
good.
is
Capable of killing.
stoic. He is responsible.
Yes.
He follows rules. He's he went to a smart school when he was he's literally the epitome of that. I just think he's perfection as a young man. But I didn't have to yell at him. The only time I ever yelled at him when he was running into traffic and I screamed bloody murder because he was like 2. And that was literally the only time. And I was crying because he looked so scared and it made me bawl because I'm like, I can't But anyways, but I'm not a softie, but I'm also not someone who ever needed to be authoritarian with him just because we
that's
had a
the
strong
dad's job.
interaction.
It's the dad's job.
It is the dash. Zach, go ahead. I know you've been
So
waiting.
I think we're all dancing around it. I think what we're all talking about here is priorities. You have your priorities straight.
Right.
It's not your mentality. It's not the situation. Yes, I mean, birth is trauma, and we all go through that. So
Right.
everyone's gone through trauma in their life.
Right.
But your priorities were straight. And I think kids absorb what their parents have to give them. And
Right.
everything. Like, even as an infant, you absorb your parents' stress. And so if you're a stressed parent with an infant, that infant's going to be stressed. And so you had your priorities straight, so that rubbed off on your son when he was young, and now as he's progressed, you see that his priorities are straight.
Right.
And so
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Yeah. Thoughts? Concerns?
Rational.
I just think I think if you
At such a young age. I'm so
if you
proud.
set yourself up to the point where you have, like Doc talks about it all the time, like his 6 priorities, and this is how what drives his life, right?
You work your
And-
priorities every day.
Yep.
Every day.
Yeah.
And when,
Every
when,
day,
they're,
every
when
day.
you're putting one in front of the other, you're not supposed to. That's when that anxiety, that conviction comes in. You know,
Yep.
mine's God, myself, my wife, my family, the wellness way. Those are mine. And when I put one in the wrong spot, things get wonky. If I work too much and I'm not taking care of myself, I can't take care of my family. Right. Yeah, I'm not talking about I'm gonna do me and go play in the basement and play video games and make me number 2 behind God. No, I'm talking about grinding, working hard on myself, the things that are important to me, so that when I get home or I'm here with my wife working, I'm talking to her in a healthy way. I'm able to perform at a high level when I'm a husband, a father, because I've taken care of myself. But when I don't, like most people don't, that's when things get a little murky, and that's when things get unhealthy. And you can use other examples up the wazoo, but we have to have your priorities. You have to stand by them, and you have to always reflect and make sure that you're on the right path. Otherwise, they will get all mixed up on yourself.
I think society today is toxic because people subconsciously accept that they're not doing as well as they could be when they see others succeed.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like the crab in the bucket analogy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but if you put crabs in a bucket, you don't have to put a lid on it, because the minute one crab tries to climb out, all the other crabs will pull him down.
I told you.
And so-
Rats in a box.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Rats eat each other.
Yep.
Right.
And so if you have someone that's suddenly becoming more successful, the group that they're around and the people they associate with
They-
aren't growing with them.
Yeah.
They're going to outgrow that group.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's people subconsciously seeing people succeed, and it reflects poorly on themselves, and their subconscious recognizes that they're in a shitty state.
Right.
Right.
And so instead of coping and trying to succeed themselves, they just blow off the world and get mad and emotional about it.
Right.
And
It's
people
those-
act on
yeah.
those emotions.
Right.
And then everybody
that's what
in
you
the circle
see.
is basically reassuring each other. Well, it's the whole I'm a victim, you're a victim, and then we're all victims together, and so we're reinforcing this idea amongst each other that we're all just victims, and the priority is to be the victim, to be a part of the victim in crowd, which
Right.
then makes people say things like, "I suffer from trauma from somebody saying something."
That's
mean to me."
not fair. That's not
Love
what
me
I
'cause I'm
said.
fat. I know that's not
Darn
what you
it.
said. That's not what you said. but I'm
Someone in the
trying-
comments
people
is going
do,
to
but
say it
people
right
do
now.
I believe in taking radical responsibility.
No,
right?
no.
It's
I'm
like you
giving that.
watch your life outside of here and be like, what would the main character do right now? And then you do that because
Right.
you are writing your story.
Right.
Right. But people, people start somewhere, right? Like
Yeah.
they start somewhere and they might be victims. And definitely don't say, yes, stay there and be special. And like,
Right.
look at all my victim trophies. And this is why I can't do what I do.
But so many people are getting
So many
victim
people.
trophies.
Yeah.
Like they're getting
I
their
paid
trophies. I know.
Or even trophies
Because
just,
of women.
or just getting awards
My
for
son
being,
should get one too.
you know, just
Probably
being
fat
nothing,
women.
just doing nothing. Like the idea that we're just gonna give jobs to an African American because you're African American,
Right.
right?
Oh my God.
So what are we saying? Are we saying that you are actually qualified for this position, or are we literally saying, well, I poo-poo you, let's just put you in there because you're the token guy? And it's like, and so
not
you
happening
don't,
here.
you don't feel victim. You don't feel like you don't feel like that's that's a problem for you as an African American person or a woman. We're just gonna hire you because we need diversity, right? You're a Mexican. We're just gonna hire you because we need this diversity. But these people are happy to take those victim trophies.
Right.
Yay! I got a job because I'm black. I got a job
Yeah.
because I'm a woman.
Well, it happened to me last week. I just got a ticket. I dropped off Pearl a couple months ago, 2 months ago with Beth, and we're driving back, and I'm just almost at Brown County, and I'm speeding. I'm going like 88. And anyways, well, I had my court date finally. We had my court date last week, and I had this pregnant woman with a baby in her hand, probably like 20. And she got out scotch-free. took everything off. Mm-hmm. Black lady, I'd say probably about 35. Like, hard to tell, and she goes up there. Oh, it's Scott's freak. It gets a warning. Then there was, who was it? There's one more person. 16-year-old girl on probation, broke her probation twice, and she got out. I mean, she was supposed to lose her license, everything. She got out with just community service. Community service.
It sounds all like female privilege.
I'm cool.
Just wait,
Be the judge. So I walk in there. I'm like, you know what? Be presentable, be respectful to the judge. I have a jacket on, a polo shirt, and I have to pay my fine exactly the way it was. So I just wasted 2.5 months of my time, waiting for this court date just to go, hey, look, I said I'm owning it. I made a mistake. I go, you can tell by my track record. I've had speeding when I was 17, I think once. And I'm like, I'm hoping that you'll give me some grace. Nope, nothing. No. I'm going, you just hit me because I'm black.
Yeah, yeah, that is that is the case. That's what happened.
So
100%, man.
I just experienced it, man. People hate the white Christian man. But go ahead.
They do the white straight male.
You should have went in there real zesty. You should have said, "Hey."
You would have gotten away with it then,
dude. Like totally screwed. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was so hammered.
There you go.
I was so hammered. Otherwise, I would have been like, I would have been speeding and shit. Oh my gosh.
The facial hair would have given it away, though. I would have been like, you gotta just clean this up a little bit, and then you could have done that.
Yeah,
this
then
gives
you
it
can get
away.
away.
Where were you a few weeks ago?
No,
Huh?
like this, I would
He's
like,
a
as soon
bear.
as you started telling the story, like your facial hair.
You hiding like animal.
Yeah. But this all comes back and relates to like the demoralization of people, though, right? Because if you can get a job based on being black, based on getting tickets out because of your gender or because of your race, and then we have all these people who are getting jobs, right? This whole like affirmative action nonsense about, we want to have more women in management, or we want to have a more diverse, colorful workplace. We care about who people have sex with, and that's what we're going to hire them based off of. This is deep.
Not true, because no one cares who I have sex with. And I really wish they would care more about it and give me some parades. And I've asked for this. I want a big booty, big breast parade.
What color flag do you want, though?
What color flag?
Yeah,
we
what
can
kind
work
of flag?
on that. But that's
okay.
not important. The parade is what's
I think
important.
the flag is actually really important.
Yeah, we need to.
That
We need
leads
to
the
know.
parade. That starts
Because
the whole parade.
It's your banner of who you are.
Just put breasts and a big butt on there. They look the same.
We need the 3 Ds.
There you go.
And nipples on butt cheeks.
No one cares about that. No one cares that I want that. Nobody is saying.
Nope. Nobody
in
does.
October. I said we could blend my parade in October. We could have it when it's breast cancer month. I like breasts, so breast cancer awareness month. Save the girls, and let's have a parade for the girls at the same time. Why not? Little breasted women, you can't come. I'm sorry.
Why?
What?
Because
They're all the
it's
same.
for larger
You
breasted
want to
women.
see them anyway.
No, it's for larger breasted women. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Only.
That is offensive, and I'm gonna have to ask you to
Careful.
leave.
It is.
That's
offensive.
discrimination.
You disagree. You disagree. You disagree.
I
Let's talk
very
about
much
it.
disagree.
You better be careful what you ask for, because
And
you're
he
gonna
better
get the
disagree, too,
transgender
because his
fat
wife is-
400-pound man show up, and he'll be like, "Yeah, I have big ass breasts."
You know what? You know
Yeah,
what?
you
I
should
already
be
thought about
careful.
that, and I said we will allow it. We just don't like it. But we have to allow it. We just
You
don't
have
like
to allow it.
We just don't like it. But we'll allow it. Go ahead.
No. No.
We have a question, don't we?
We do have another question, and you know what? It directly relates to what we're talking about, so we can
Beautiful.
pretty much
I
keep
forgot
the
what we were
conversation
talking
going.
about.
Well,
I think it started.
it just
like
it,
all
it,
over the
it's
place.
it's all together. It's
Welcome
all
to the
fine.
podcast.
It's all fine. It's all fine. All right, are we ready for our next one? Okay.
Always.
We're gonna do the same thing. Mel, we'll start with you on this time, and we'll go around this way. All right.
No pressure.
Women should wear makeup. Women should, yes, wear makeup.
Come on.
I have
No,
to
no.
disagree. I have to disagree.
Okay.
I agree.
I disagree.
Oh, look at you.
Agree.
Disagree.
Disagree.
Oh, this has like been the most controversial one, maybe. Oh, all right. All right, go ahead, Mel.
Oh,
Sorry. Or take a drink first, whenever it's fine.
I mean,
Collect your
I
thoughts.
love makeup, and I think it's a expression of yourself and whatever. But most makeup isn't probably great for you, and women a lot of them are just gorgeous and they don't need a speck of it. And
Are they though?
There's a lot of women out there who have gorgeous skin, who have beautiful dark lashes that just look
I'm jealous.
better without makeup than they do
lashes
with makeup. I am not one of those people, so I'm not like proclaiming that I'm going to be wearing my makeup. But there's a lot of women out there who look better without it, and I say awesome. But I mean, like, some of them don't look better, and they could probably use some makeup, but I'm not going to say anything.
So what's the rule? Because you're talking about exceptions. So what's the rule?
Right.
I don't know.
What's the rule? You already said it. I'm just making you say it now.
Now I'm confused.
That's what
You said-
exceptions do.
Oh, based on how women look with or without makeup? Is that
Yeah,
the
like
rule?
is the rule that they should wear it? And there are exceptions to the rule? Because that's kind of what you're talking about.
No, I think, like, I don't think anyone should wear makeup.
Okay, let's assume it's also clean makeup.
It's clean makeup.
All right, I wear clean makeup. So, okay, we're going to assume that too.
I will always
That's your
wear
disclaimer.
makeup
That's
all
the exception,
the
not
time.
the rule.
But
Well,
I
true,
don't think
but-
it should be a rule. I don't think women should wear makeup, no.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think this correlates exactly with the first question. Women.
I know, that's why we picked it.
Yeah. So women taking care of themselves. Now, granted, taking care of themselves is having great skincare. Washing their face every day, moisturizing, all of that kind of stuff, and all of that plays into them being able to feel good about themselves. Now, granted, I feel good about myself when I'm not wearing makeup also, because my husband treats me that way. My husband loves when I'm just all natural on the weekends and everything like that, but I like getting dolled up because I feel more sexy. And when sexy time happens, then, like, it just all correlates together. It's all one thing. Like, I feel good about myself. I'm not saying I feel better, but I feel good about myself, and I like getting dolled up for him. So I think it correlates right into that first question, where not letting yourself go. Where if you do take care of yourself, your skin is going to be good, so you want to enhance it. So.
Yeah, I like the word enhance with that.
Like, my eyelashes are blonde as fuck. My eyebrows are blonde as fuck. So I have to wear mascara and color in my eyebrows so that you can actually see that
your
there's
face.
shit there on my face. So I have to wear makeup.
I wear makeup every day. Like I said, I do full everything every day. Like, I always look good. I mean, like, I try to look good, and every time I go out,
No, you just say it. You do look good.
I try.
Girl, you look
I
great.
do my best, and when I go out, I like to dress up. I'm always overdressed. I'm always wearing skirts. I'm always got my hair done. But again, it's for me. Like, I will do it for me because I feel good, and like when I feel good, I just, feel
Dancing.
myself, and so I do
That's
it
the
for
Jerry Rice
myself.
concept. He goes, if you look good, you play good. Or if you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. And he's the GOAT
Right.
of all receivers, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with that one.
Go ahead. I want to hear your sassy comments.
Well, I think that women should not have to wear makeup, but a lot of women need it.
Yeah.
Stole my line.
Need it. I mean, they look like men without it. So, yeah, they need it.
No, they don't look like men. They look like a child dying in 1872 from influenza. That's what we look
I was
like.
going to say, I look like I'm sick
Yeah.
when I don't wear makeup
Yeah.
because of the lack of color.
I have very dark
Well,
under eye circles.
Well, I mean, I
Get your
think
food allergies tested.
I think some women
Maybe
need
get a
it.
stool
I don't really work here.
Well, I think some women need it, but I don't think all women should have to wear. Like, I think there are a lot of women who really don't, and I think that, like, I've noticed that, different races of women, it does matter a lot with them. Like, different races of women don't really wear makeup as much. I think also it might be the different ethnic backgrounds. Like, some of them, the makeup is different with their facial structures and things of that nature. But I just think that it's not a should, but some women need it. They do need it. They need it to enhance themselves.
So
I mean,
those women probably should.
yeah, they
We're not talking about making laws and forcing people.
I don't-
Everybody's free.
I don't think those.
But
I don't think those women should. I think they shouldn't. I think definitely there needs to be a law enforced on those women wearing makeup.
Someone needs to tell them. Someone needs to tell them.
Don't tell them. Mandate.
A mandate's
No,
not
mandate's
a law.
not, mandate's not a law. We have to write it into law.
Make it a commandment then or something.
Oh, the 11th commandment? Okay.
Replace it with one of the other ones that we do all the time, like stealing. So take that one out and then
How about adultery?
yeah, whatever,
'Cause,
fine.
I mean, that one probably get thrown out the window for
Yep,
some people.
throw that one in there.
Already
Hey,
is, I'm
Christian
sure.
men will support that too.
Yeah,
by the
women
way.
should wear
Women looking good.
Ugly women need makeup. And women who would like to wear it, go ahead. You can. It's an
Okay.
option for you.
It's an option.
All right.
I like it. I like it. Go ahead, Travis. If you were going to add anything
I'm
to what you
gonna
said.
collect my thoughts, I guess. But here, so I agree that women should wear makeup. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not trying to kiss ass because I already get sandwiches and a lot of sex from my wife. But I'm telling you, I'm head over heels about her. It doesn't matter if she's waking up in the morning next to me. I'm like, damn, you're beautiful, you know. And then or when she's all dolled up, damn, you're beautiful, you know. But makeup does make her look hot, like when she But that's her getting all dolled up on her own. I've never asked her once to wear makeup. I'm gonna ask her. She actually went a year. She did Lent one year, and she didn't do makeup. Probably when she needed makeup more than ever because she had a bad gut. Anyone knows the wellness way. She had her detoxing, everything came out through her face. She got a red, just a big blot, you know. But I still loved her. I still head over heels over her. But I'll tell you what.
She's
Here
not
though.
here today. Just say whatever you want.
It's fine. I would say it with her right
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean? I'm not scared of her. I mean, she's little. I can take her. I think. But although she
Maybe.
carries a 40. Anyways, but no, I agree that women should have to wear makeup. I mean, not have to, but I encourage it. I mean, you do look professional. You do look nice. I look at it like I was talking today, and should I wear my muscle shirt today? It's like, no, you're wearing your jacket. Okay, yes, Mom, I will do it. Why? Because I look better.
Right.
Same thing with makeup. Wear your damn makeup.
Marketing.
Yes.
Marketing. Go ahead, Nate.
I don't think they all should wear makeup. They're not all good at art.
Smoky eyes are really tough. Okay.
That's
Picasso.
good.
You're right. Some of them do like Picasso.
I have one look. One look.
But here's the thing too.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody.
That's it. I have one
I
routine.
don't vary
That's
from
it.
it because
But
I
some
look
of
like
them,
a clown real fast.
some of them that have one look, it's the wrong one.
The ones
wrong
that
one.
The
Usually
ones.
cosmetologists. It's
Yeah.
usually cosmetology. People.
Yeah.
They look terrible.
Every woman gets offended when you tell them they should wear makeup, but they're the ones wearing the clown
Yeah.
face. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's an exception. I'm telling you right now, I'm like, take that inch of layer or makeup off your face.
Yeah.
Then if you don't want to wear it, and if you're offended by it, stop wearing it yourself, hypocrite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
ones
like
that
peeling
like,
the paint off a historical
yeah,
house.
that they cake
Get the
on
paint
the
thinner
layers
out.
upon layers.
Yeah, you
upon
can't do
layers,
that.
It gets
and
all on your clothing.
Right.
Yeah,
you
I
should
get on my
still like
shoulders all the
look
time.
like yourself,
Your
just
bed
nicer.
sheets.
Yeah, on your bed sheets.
Enhance your natural features.
Right.
That's,
You got white
that's the
cheeks.
way
It's
that
a
I-
face. It's a face on your bed sheets. Like who was this third person we had in bed with us?
No, she was just face down in the pillow.
There was actually I saw a commercial where a kid hugged his
Somebody caught
girlfriend
that.
and then she walked away and her face was still attached to his shirt.
Terrible looking.
Terrible on his shirt.
Oh,
Terrible.
man. Zach,
Alright.
go ahead. Go.
All right,
Rational.
So I wrote down my
The
thoughts
wisest
because
and youngest one here.
hey, I'll take it. I wrote down my thoughts so I could collect them, like Travis said. So all of you kind of touched on a few things. The first thing I wrote down was only Sith deal in absolutes. Now I'm a nerd, so I love Star Wars, and what that means is, should they or shouldn't they? All women is encompassing a lot of things, and I don't think all women should, which is why I disagree. I think there's a lot of things that go into it. Now, the second thing I wrote is you do you, boo. As a libertarian point of view, people do what they're going to do, and I don't want to infringe on that so much. I also have the viewpoint that, you guys touched on it. I don't remember who specifically did, but I think that, like Travis said, waking up next to your wife, like, if you don't think she looks good in sweats and baggy t-shirts, then, it goes back to that whole letting yourself go conversation that we've already had. But if you don't like what she looks like then, she's just putting on a facade when it comes to makeup.
Yeah.
Now, to makeup, I think it's a false front that you're putting on. It's like false advertising. Next point I wrote down was most makeup companies are not clean. and they're
No.
awful for your skin.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
awful for your
They are.
intestine. They're awful for your hormones. And this is the chiropractor in me coming out. So, yeah, I just think all makeup is bad in general, unless it's the exception, which is the clean version. I think that a lot of people have a lot of issues in their guts, in their intestines, in their, the chiropractic philosophy is traumas, toxins, and thoughts. Well, if you have 2 of the 3, traumas and thoughts, it's going to get out in your body and you're going to have toxic overload. Our world is toxic. And so if you're just caking on toxic, the skin is a great barrier for your body to get rid of stuff. And if you're caking on toxicity, it's
You're
not going to be able to get
blocking
rid of
it
the
all.
internal toxicity.
Yeah.
And I think makeup, it comes down to back to the priorities. I think what is the makeup for? Is it for yourself? Is it for someone else? Is it for, whatever? I really think it's up to the individual. And so all women should. I don't think it's an all type of deal. I think it's some not, and what are the reasons for it?
That was really mature.
That was
Yeah.
a very mature response. And to be clear, the statement was women should wear makeup, not all women. And we're not making laws, and everybody is free to do what they want. Just to be clear about all of that.
They're not free to do what they want.
Well, I
Some
think
people
that they
need
are.
guidance. Some people need lots of guidance.
They need to know how to do the brush strokes on their eyes correctly to blend it in very nicely.
and
They
then-
should teach that in school.
And then,
Yes.
Actual skills.
Yes. They should teach that in school.
Right in our
Yeah.
class. Now paint your neighbor's face. Nope, that looks worse. We're trying to make it look better.
No, but actually, to like what you were talking about before too. I mean, that's kind of what I think though is. I mean, we shouldn't have so much of it on that we don't look like ourselves. This is an enhancement of our beauty. And going back to before what we were also, talking about, it has to do with looking nice and also, looking nice for your man, and not that your man really cares if you have fake eyelashes on or not. I guarantee none of you know that I have fake eyelashes. None of you men know that I have fake eyelashes on right now or care. Or you
do.
don't care.
I saw
I know.
those trendy
I know.
lashes.
All right, fine.
I saw.
So my favorite is, so with regards to makeup, when you see like this total transformation of this person that is like, I'm sorry, butt ass fucking ugly, and then they do their little TikTok bullshit thing, and then they
Contour.
look
Yeah.
like they are a completely different person. That goes along with what he was saying,
Right.
that like you're a facade, you're an actor. Like you're presenting yourself as somebody completely and utterly different, and then you go home and you are your real person. So it goes along with, if you're this different person and you go out with someone and they see you as this different person, and then all of a sudden you take off the mask, like, then they don't like you anymore. Well, no shit, because you're a completely different fucking person.
Right.
Just trick the dude into thinking you're
Yeah.
a girl.
Like
Well, here's-
you have these,
Of course, I'm
you
not
have
gonna
these-
like you.
You have these women
I can
out
get
there that
clean,
have
too.
like missing teeth, and they have like fake teeth that they put in, and they like get all dolled up. And I'm like, good for you that you can actually like achieve that, because not in my wildest dreams I'm going to be able to achieve that. But you're playing a part. That's all you're doing. And for me, makeup should enhance your natural beauty, your natural like
Right.
curves in your face,
They're
and
good
all
at
of that
art.
stuff.
I have
And,
a thought after she's done. I'm sorry. I think this is a wonderful rule of thumb. Anyone ever here see Indiana Jones and the first one, not the Temple of Doom, not the Last Crusade. Oh, not the Last Crusade.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Thank you. Wow.
Okay.
The young guy knows the
eventually.
oldest movie. But
Eventually.
anyways, everybody remember the part where who's seen the movie?
A long time ago, but yes.
No.
There's a part in the movie where they're after the Ark of the Covenant. They finally get there, and the Nazis get it because they think it's going to give them power to win the war. Anyways, they all get there to do this whole holy Hebrew ceremony. All these Nazis, right? And they open it up, and this thing does nothing. And all of a sudden, it gets stirred up, and it comes out and starts attacking all of them. But there's this one scene that this guy, one of the main characters, the bad guys, his face melts off. And it's cheesy graphics. It's the old CGI, right? Here's a rule here. If your face, when you put that first splash on your face and it looks like that, you're putting too much makeup on. Now, I want everyone to go
Your
watch
first
that movie.
date should
the
always
end
be
scene.
taking
Yeah.
a woman swimming.
Oh.
Just tips and tricks from Nate.
I have trauma as a
Start your own
past swimmer.
podcast.
Would you?
jeez.
I have trauma as a past swimmer. I spent a lot of time in chlorine pools, so.
Oh,
I don't think I can be in another pool. Just kidding. I love swimming, but yes, as long as it's salt water.
Chlorine's not good for you either. You gotta take some iodine to offset that probably. But that smell is so nostalgic for me. It just takes me back to childhood because it meant we were staying in a hotel and that was like a very special thing. Side note about my life. But anyway, so I'm like, as I was kind of saying, I mean, I clearly like wear makeup, and we've talked about the whole appearance thing and everything like that tonight. But what I want to know from the ladies, because you both obviously wear makeup, and I have thought this through a little bit, and I want to know what you have to say about it. So why do women wear makeup? Are we wearing it because everybody says it's for themselves? And sometimes I kind of question that.
No.
Are you wearing it to impress a man? Because I think there's some validity in there. But I largely think that women are wearing makeup for other women, to look cute for other women, because women check out women way more than women check out men.
Yeah.
Right? You're dressing cute because of other
doing
women.
it for approval.
Oh, yeah.
Not checking us out.
I'm checking
I guess
you.
I'm gonna let myself go.
I'm checking you out, you and Kels. I'm checking you out.
They only
Hey,
care about the
Kels.
color of the card.
Let's go to McDonald's, man. Let's go.
Yeah,
let,
you know what I'm
let
saying?
ourselves go a little
Yeah,
bit.
let ourselves go. You're not checking us out, then forget it.
We're checking you out, just not as much as we're checking out other women.
Okay.
We're looking at her outfit and how it's put together, how her hair is curled. Did she do a smoky eye? Does she have fake lashes on? Does she have her nails done? Does she have heels on?
Her
What
nails did.
nails did?
Done did it.
What kind of jewelry does she have on? What kind of cleavage does she have? How does that fit? Is that the right?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought up the cleavage. As a man who would like a big breast, big boob parade, this needs to stop. This needs to stop with the contouring of the A-cup girls making the breasts.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
that's-
I agree with that.
that-
That's crazy.
That's
You
dumb.
can't come
No.
to the parade. You tricky fuck. You can't come.
As
So I guess push-up bras are out
Talk
too?
amongst yourselves.
I'm a
Same.
Go
little
walk it off,
offended.
Lorenzo. Walk it off, brother.
So this B-cup woman is gonna come to your parade, and I'm gonna be all excited because
You are more than welcome to serve the D-cups drinks. And
no,
I can't wait to read the comment section.
Right? Me too.
Yeah, can someone check? Check.
it's,
Are there comments? I don't even know.
It's lighten up.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Oh, Frank
no,
the cat.
women-
How we love Frank the cat.
Frank, what?
who is Frank the cat?
He's a furry.
Oh,
Yeah, he's furry.
Okay.
We accept all kinds.
great.
I mean, we kind of actually.
Speak for
Meow.
yourself. I disagree.
That's a little sketchy of me to actually
Okay.
say here. But so wait, but what women are wearing it for other women?
Yeah.
Why are women wearing it?
Because they're looking for approval from other women.
Right.
That's mainly the majority of them, I should say. Obviously,
That's the
not
rule.
all of them. Yes, but the ones that are more disciplined and more like looking at their priorities, like you said, and all of that kind of stuff, like we do it for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and for our man.
Mel, what do you think?
I mean, a lot of times, I don't want to say I dress for other women. I just know that a lot of times women tend to give me more compliments than guys do. So I think, like, the fashion-wise, when it comes to makeup, yeah, I definitely like to look a certain way, but I'll put on a little makeup when I'm home by myself. Like, I find that putting on a little mascara and some lip stuff or, you know, just try not to be totally scuzzy, you know, maybe take a shower or something. I try
Maybe,
to do
only
all of
maybe.
those things when I'm home, even if I don't leave my house. So, but yeah, if I were to try harder on my makeup, it might be for women, but I don't know about that.
You're
for
the
me.
exception, not the rule.
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, to me as a man, makeup is good. It's not a deal breaker for me. But if you stank, I can't stand it. I can't stand stinky people. I can't stand it. Like, man, take a shower. Just saying.
What if they are taking showers, but
Yeah.
then
What
their
if they
body
drink-
just naturally
Then
omits
where's the
funky?
Then-
chiropractor?
What if
Yeah,
they
I was
drink
gonna say,
goat's milk?
change your
chiropractor.
diet, get yourself texted. You have ways to fix all
thing.
that.
We have
It's
a
just
wonderful
your
man
body
here.
letting go of something that's toxic inside.
We
Yes.
are-
Chiropractor is gonna
Yes.
come out, so you
To-
just wait.
toxins
be
come out your
careful.
pee poop
But
and
let-
sweat, people.
let
And so if
me-
you're toxic, it might come out your sweat. And then if you're extra stinky, you might need
yeah.
something. You probably need something for your hypothalamus to regulate it. You might need to take a binder because that holds on to toxins and helps pull them out of your body. But if you're taking a binder, make sure you're also taking something so you can poop because
Did
you
you
can't
go
get
to the
constipated.
academy?
Let me
My
clarify.
word, you spoke like someone who's graduated the
Let
academy.
me clarify my
What was
statement.
that?
I said, my word, you spoke that like someone who's graduated from the academy.
No, that's not me.
Well, I just
Did
want
you
to
know
clarify
that?
my statement.
I don't know.
Oh, is that what they say in there?
No, it's just you said it, and that's
Oh,
pretty much
cool.
the entire wellness way. Wrap
Well,
up.
perfect.
Well, and
I
let me-
mean, I am aligned, so.
I can hold on. stink is
Dandelions
like
are so
like
good.
that kind of detoxing. Dude, I stink, man. I ate some Catalina cookies a while back, and my wife couldn't stand me because they got chickpea in them, right? Anyway, so I get it. But my point is that, so I understand detox. I get all that. That's the exception. I'm talking about just somebody who stinks and doesn't do anything about it. I can't handle it. Can't handle it.
What about what's worse, the stink or like if they have a roll and then there's like the dirt inside the roll?
The dirt roll. The dirt roll's way
I went
worse.
there.
The
I went
dirt
there.
inside the roll.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
thing.
like babies.
Did you know that?
When they got like the double rolls.
Oh no,
Yeah.
dirty
But
neck.
then it's cute. It's
Nasty.
cute
Wow,
then.
It's cute.
Dirty
cute.
neck. That dirty. That I know what you're talking. That's
Because
the
some
most
people
disgusting
don't
thing on
look
the
at
planet.
that roll and wipe it out, and that's
I could
It's a thing.
I could do
That's the
a
thing.
podcast alone on some of the individuals that I worked with. I
So
was in transportation. I was a driver manager, and although there's wonderful people out there, there are certain people that I don't think they took a shower since birth, like when their mom bathed them. I'm not.
They just got that Vernex rubbed in and then they're good to
And my
go.
wife, if she's watching, she'll know the guy that I'm about to talk about. But I'll spare that. It stunk up the entire building. The entire building. It was bad. And that was after a shower. He put his stinky clothes back on. It was bad.
That dirt neck's usually got those skin tags associated with them.
I didn't have. I
Yeah,
couldn't call him
actually,
by his
you're
name
right.
before he even got to you. Like, hey, how you doing?
I used to work in banking, and we had a customer that would stink up the whole lobby, and we legit would have to take hand sanitizer. Now, granted, hand sanitizer is not the greatest, but we took it, and we would literally go like this, so that all we would breathe in is the hand sanitizer because of how bad her BO was, and we're like,
Half the people-
Gut
Cleanliness
infection.
is next to godliness.
Did you say gut infection?
Yeah, gut infection.
oh,
Probably
I'm sure,
excess
but this
gluten
was
too.
like,
if you really
I
get
don't
into
even know
it.
how long ago this was, so it was, yeah.
Would you
way
say, Nate?
before.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Oh, yes, that's true. Well, actually, you know what? Speaking of, 'cause I should play Doc for like a second here to also pick on the Christian community because it just wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't pick on the
I
Christian
thought you weren't
community.
going to politics or religion.
I'm not, just except for this little
Oh,
stint.
okay.
Because it directly relates and whatever, and it's a little bit fun. So we're talking about makeup and we're talking about like the whole appearance thing. We need to be clear that like Christian men also care about this because I think in the Christian community, especially with women, they get caught up in the like, well, Jesus loves me for who I am, and it's what's on the inside that matters. And yes, that is nice and true, but what is on the outside also very much matters. And your husband wants you to be nice and put together. And like I was talking about before, he wants to be able to parade you around. He wants to be able to be proud of you and all of those really great things. And we just need to kind of call that piece out too. And I think that if you're just using that as an excuse, I think a lot of people just use it as an excuse. And if you are one of those people, you should like very, very prayerfully consider probably getting a scale and improving your life.
Well, I mean, if you're beautiful on the inside, you know,
that matters.
We should flip you inside out and take a look at your outside, the inside of you on the outside.
Figure out what's wrong and then flip you back.
Yeah, flip you
back
inside out.
in,
You
flip
know,
you back in.
maybe after dinner.
Have to have some dessert first.
Sure.
Oh, you kids. I can't.
I just had a visual of an inside-out person.
Yeah.
I did too when she was really fat, and I don't know why that's where I had to go with it. but
Wow.
I don't know why, because there'd be more to flip.
You
So
know,
it'd be
you-
like a little bit more fun. You could like dig out all the like fat cells and stuff. Yeah. Or like
That
spray
went
something
morbid really
anti-inflammatory
quickly.
on
Yeah.
them. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm just gonna tell
Okay,
you.
how about next question?
I'm just gonna tell you, I've been in surgery. I've seen
Have you?
actual surgery with people getting colonoscopies who are
Yeah.
fat. You don't want to see that.
No.
Yeah.
You do not want to see the
No,
inside.
I
you do not want to see
can't even handle like getting like an IV or anything.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
can't.
can't.
I can't.
Oh
I
my
make them
God.
count to 3,
Let me
and I
tell-
get pissed if they do it on 2.
Let me tell you. I used
That
to
happened
have,
once.
I used to have to go to St. V's and do hysterectomies for women, and we would shoot my product down into the Da Vinci tubes, and then I don't know if you all know how that whole thing works.
Shoot your
but
product.
Yeah, my product. But
Okay.
I was a medical device salesman. I sold Amnion.
You know how that sounds, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know how it sounds. We're shooting my product down the tube. I mean, I've shot my product down the tube a couple of times too. But we shot the product down the tube.
I don't get it. Can you draw a picture?
Yeah, here you go.
We could get one of these to turn into whiteboards and start teaching.
So when we would shoot it down there, when we would actually wrap the woman's ovaries, a lot of the women were overweight. And when you look at how the doctor has to shift all that fat around, he's
that's
shifting fat
disgusting.
to get at certain areas, it's like, man, it looks like straight mucus, just mucus. You don't want to see that.
No.
No, I probably don't. I
Nope.
probably vomit. Probably stinks too.
I'm-
Probably just as much as the neck rolls. All right. What? I'm not wrong.
The neck roll.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna switch gears just a little bit. All right. My kids won't eat that is weak parenting.
Oh.
My kids won't eat that is weak parenting.
I agree.
I didn't tell you could go first.
I'm going first.
That's fine. Zach, go ahead. This is prepping you.
I don't know.
You have to
I don't-
pick one. I'm making you.
Come back to me.
All right,
I have
fine.
to think about it.
Mel.
I disagree.
Okay, say the statement again.
My kids won't eat that is weak parenting.
I disagree.
I disagree.
I 100% agree.
And you went, you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I took that backwards. I agree. Sorry.
Okay, because I kind of thought that was interesting
Yeah.
for you. But
nope,
all right.
I took that completely backwards.
you might have.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I disagree.
Okay. Why don't you go first? Because you were the first one to jump up.
You have to be able to try it. Kids have to try it
How many times? What do you think?
until they really make a valid case on that they don't like it.
It's like 100.
Probably. Maybe more.
No, that's legitimate. Like, you should have your kids try stuff 100 times, and then if they don't like it, then maybe.
Possibly.
It's been a legit thing in my house.
I understand.
I don't like mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms. I don't like over and over and over again one day. I love mushrooms.
Well, that happens when you take psilocybin ones.
When I what? Oh.
Had to use that as
I did. Well, that was the literal example in my house, though, okay?
you had to use.
I had,
mushrooms as
yeah,
the
I suppose. I
example.
wasn't thinking about my crowd. I'm sorry.
I can hear my mushrooms, man.
Ooh, I see pretty
Anything else?
colors.
No, you just, I mean, if they're allergic to it, that's
Right,
an
yep.
exception.
Exception.
Right.
No, we eat everything in my house. You know, oysters or Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
Or, you know, the stuff that nobody likes, but it's actually really good.
If you make it the right way.
Yeah.
Put some bacon with those Brussels
Oh,
sprouts.
I love Brussels.
Oh, yeah.
and maple syrup.
Just
Yeah.
plain
Just plain. Raw or cooked?
cooked.
Yeah, okay.
In-
I can get on
well,
board with that. With some
in
salt.
butter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of butter.
Lots of butter.
And
Real
you gotta-
butter.
You gotta have
Yeah.
good seasonings.
Not
then,
shitty
too.
canola oil butter. That's not real.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of salt.
No, you
can go
gotta. I
next.
mean,
Here's why I agree with that statement. We are 100% responsible as parents to teach our kids what's good, bad, and different. And I'm telling you right now, you talked about coping with food, right? We all being like that starts at a certain age, right? I mean, we have to start teaching them right away. What you put in your mouth is fuel. It's not comfort. I get it. I am guilty. I'm a hypocrite because I will eat stuff that I shouldn't sometimes. But even when I cheat, it's something that's clean, or you know what I mean, like a
Happy bellies.
Happy Belly is naturally delightful.
Blue
Shout out.
5.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not eating things with blue 4, yellow 5, 9 or whatever. You guys,
40.
we are responsible to teach our kids that's not okay. That's another form of that. That's how you lead to obesity, to being unhealthy. So yeah, we're on the hook to teach our kids what's right and wrong. I mean, what's you get. I hate that the cliche term of everything in moderation. But I mean,
No.
No, only if you want to be moderately healthy.
yep. So we have to teach our kids. Otherwise, we're gonna keep getting fatter. I mean, who here thinks McDonald's is real food?
Yeah. Yuck.
Are you saying that that top meat is not top meat?
Lorenzo, I don't want
Those aren't potatoes?
That's not a real
Yeah,
salad.
you really mean that those fries aren't potatoes?
No.
Really? What is that?
You should watch the video on McDonald's how they make
that's
potatoes.
I've seen
Ooh.
it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Grab a
Okay.
puke bucket, people. Anyways, but we have a responsibility to our kids to teach them, right? We have people, and I hate to use the old cliche, we got people all over the world. I don't give a shit about them at this point in time. I can only take care of myself. But, I mean, we have the luxury to eat whatever we want. I mean, there's things we allow here in America that over in Europe and whatnot,
Yeah.
they won't even let
wow,
us.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, that's
Ranch dressing.
Yeah.
I love ranch dressing.
Ranch dressing is one step away from eating straight mayo, but that's a whole other conversation. But I do like ranch.
I like mayo also.
But here's the thing.
Same.
You got to look at that food and teach your kids, is that
Good
going to help
stuff.
me? Or are you just trying to fill your belly? You know what I mean? And at some point, they're going to go, when they're 30, go, I don't understand why I'm so fat. I don't understand it. Why can't I look like Brad Pitt? You know what I mean? And because you weren't taught right. That's on your parents.
Okay, so I took that statement. The reason why I said I disagree at first is because I actually took the statement a completely different way. So I'm not allowing my kids to eat the Cheetos, the Doritos, and all of that kind of stuff.
I gotcha.
And so me
gotcha.
saying I won't let my kids eat that, some people say that I'm a weak parent because
Gotcha.
I won't let them go down that aisle. I won't let them have regular soda or whatever the case may be. That's the way that I originally took
Gotcha.
it.
Gotcha.
Yes, I want my kids to try things that I put in front of them. My kids are the super most pickiest eaters in the entire world, so trying to get them to try new things is like I would have to literally like straitjacket them and plug their nose and put it in their mouth. But I took it, like I said, I took
No,
it a
that's
completely
legitimate.
different way. And that I think is what today's society is all about, is because you have all of these other options that are out there, and me trying to feed my kids the healthier options, that's what's looked down on, because
You're not
why
fun.
would you do that? Like, ugh, like why are you feeding them gluten-free stuff? Why are you going with this option? Why are you going with that option when this is so much easier? Like, just pop the shit in the microwave and it's fine. It's like,
Microwaves are a whole other.
oh, I know.
Whole,
Oh, I
whole other
know.
thing.
I know, but that's easy and convenient. So that's where the majority of society and majority of parents are at. And that's why I said I disagree at first.
All valid.
Well,
ahead.
well, I had said that I disagree because I didn't think about it from the standpoint of what you said, right? So I didn't think about they should have to try it. I thought you meant like people are saying, well, my kids, saying that my children won't eat that is weak parenting. Like my mother would tell people he's not going to eat those onions. But this was because years and years, like you're right. Like
Yeah.
she would make French onion soup. And she figured, okay, eat that. And then I'm like, nah, I don't like the onions. And then she's like, okay, well, I'm going to make greens. Eat that. And I'm like, well, I don't want them with onions. She's like, try it. And I'm like, I don't want the onions. And then she's like, all right, well, I'll make beans. Eat that. And I'm like, it's got those things in it that I don't like. So the same thing with like okra and cabbage. I absolutely hate cabbage. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It is the password for most of my stuff. But I hate cabbage, though.
With the capital C or just kidding.
Yeah, it's got some stuff going on. There's capital C's and K's and
I was gonna
there.
say,
Purple,
I would have
purple
thought
or not?
But I'll eat cabbage raw, but I won't eat it if it's cooked. And so my mother would make me eat it. But I agree. You have to have your kids, they need to eat the thing so that they know what they don't like. And if they just don't like it, like they genuinely are like, this is just nasty to me. I just don't like the texture. I don't like, then
Yeah.
they shouldn't eat it. But a lot of kids grow out of that kind of stuff too, right? So like I didn't like broccoli, right? I was like, I'm not gonna eat these little trees. And so my mother was like, you're gonna eat all the little trees on your plate. And I'm like, I'm not eating this. I don't live in nature. I'm not eating these little trees. and so my mother was like, no, you're gonna eat the little trees. And so she'd make me sit there until I ate them, and I hated them. But as an adult, I love broccoli. I eat it every week. I started eating it as a teenager more. So like, you'll grow out of some things, but like the onions and cabbage, like even now, my mother is surprised that I cook with onion. Because she's like, I can't believe you cook with onion. You hate onions. You hate them. And I'm like, well, I understand the aromatics and I understand the flavor that they give to the food, but I'll cut them up really large and take them shits out. You are done. I don't want to
You served your purpose and how you were in the garbage.
Hey, I don't want to see you. I don't want you on my plate. 'Cause if you're on my plate, I'm like, the plate is ruined. This is gross. And I made the food. And I'm like, this is gross. Who put this onion on here? This is nasty. Get this shit out of here. But I do think that, yes, your kids should try all the food. Like, they should try almost whatever you all are eating, they should try it. And if they don't like it, then that's understandable. They don't care for it.
Right, yeah. So to clarify what we're doing here is like, because you hear parents talk about, well, my kids won't eat, this, that, and the other. They only eat mac and cheese. They only eat chicken nuggets. They only eat that.
Right.
They keep saying these things, and that's weak.
I
That's
agree.
my point.
That is weak parenting.
That's my point.
Weak parenting. Parents saying, "Oh, my kids don't eat apples." How do you know that?
Yeah.
How do you know your kids don't eat apples?
So is it fair to say, Lorenzo, that the onion is the exception to the rule, like for you, but the majority of the food you think is worth trying once? Like, I mean, making sure the kids try it, because obviously,
yeah, and trying.
Well, even the onion.
I'm a grown ass adult. I hate chestnuts.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just do. But I mean, I tried it. You know what I mean? But so I get it. But I'm talking about. I guess I'm thinking more broad, like McDonald's versus like real food. Like,
Right.
I'm thinking more along those lines.
Right, like somebody coming to your house and saying, "Oh, my son," for like Thanksgiving. "Oh, my child's not gonna eat greens," right? So if you all came to my house for Thanksgiving, we would not be having casseroles. I know that's a thing that many Wisconsinites do, casseroles and things
It's a
of that
white
nature.
people thing.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that,
It's a white people thing.
but
That's what
It's
you
an-
were thinking.
Yeah, it's an older white person generation thing.
so no green.
We
bean,
don't do. We
no
don't,
green bean casserole.
Well, I don't. Do
Castle's
that.
what you make when you got a bunch of different things and you got to mix it together.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. With
Well-
like the hamburger and the vegetables and the noodles and
But
all
what
that
I'm saying,
kind of shit.
like if you all came to my people's for Thanksgiving, if any parent said, "Well, my child's not gonna eat sweet potatoes," well, how do you know that? Have they ever had sweet potatoes? Well, they don't. They've never had that, so they're not gonna eat that. Your kid may love these sweet potatoes. You don't even know. You're just saying that because you don't want them to eat sweet potatoes or something like that.
That's funny. I thought that's a funny you say that example because that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't want anything to do with sweet potatoes because my dad was on this carb kick when I was a kid. He's like, no more potatoes. Mom started. She found this recipe that was sweet potatoes for Thanksgiving, and it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, it was amazing.
Sweet potatoes are the shit.
Well, and
Yeah.
I also think it's weak when people say that they don't like foods that they've never had.
Right.
We're adults. We should be, especially adults, like we should be trying all kind of stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like I don't like bell peppers and onions, but this
I
weekend,
love
right? So I go out with Queen, and then Queen makes me eat some bell peppers and onions, and
Atta girl.
it wasn't terrible. Not 100%. It was 75% okay. I was 25% traumatized.
Oh, God.
And so,
Using it wrong.
I will pray for you.
but I do think that even when adults say that, like in Muslim culture, we eat bean pie, right? And so people will say, I've told people, I'll bring you a bean pie. Oh, I don't want that. Well,
Why not?
what do you mean you don't want it? And I'm trying to think, are you all thinking that it's just gonna be like what? Like just a pie and beans are just gonna be all in it? Like you're gonna cut into it and it's just gonna be all these
Just
beans?
baked beans and
Yeah, just-
bacon.
just
That's
baked
kinda what I was
beans.
thinking.
It's just baked beans just falling out of a pastry dish. Like, no.
what I'm thinking.
It's literally a pie made from beans. And it tastes like sweet potato pie. Like it does, like it shocks you when you eat it. Because you're like, okay, I didn't expect this.
Oh, so they like blend up the beans so that it's like smooth and stuff.
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
just these
Oh,
little
yeah.
curdles you're putting in your mouth. All right.
So it
Okay.
probably looks like pumpkin pie kind of almost. Like
Yeah.
It is.
that.
It
All
is.
right,
It
all right.
is. It is. And
That sounds good to
and
me.
it's really, really good.
once.
Like, and you can only get it from the Muslims, right? You can. So it's really something that everybody should try because it's something very rare that you can't get unless you get it from somebody who's Nation of Islam Muslim and they can get it for you. So, but when I've told people to try it, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to eat a bean pie." I'm like, "Do you like beans?" "Oh, I love beans." "But you don't want to try bean pie?" "I don't want that. I don't know what that tastes like." I think that's
shit.
Yeah.
I think that's also part of.
Or like
love
people don't
trying
want to
new
try
things.
alligator, and I'm like,
Right,
why?
right,
It's
people don't wanna-
delicious.
right,
It's
people
dark
don't
meat.
wanna-
Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Exactly.
Doesn't
People don't
make
want to
any
try
sense.
alligator or anything
I love trying
else.
new things. I mean, it's probably
Yeah.
something we learn as we grow.
Or octopus.
My wife just had that today. She took a picture of it. But yeah, and I'll tell you what. I mean, if I had that mentality of a close off, like I'm gonna have my mac and cheese and pizza my whole my life, you know, I would miss out on a lot of cool things. Like example, we have Dr. Lucas here. He makes borscht. You ever had that before?
No.
It's a beet soup. It is phenomenal. It's got ground beef, borscht. I mean, a bunch of other things in there. I don't even know, but I will eat the crap out of that. In fact, he brought it over for Thanksgiving last year, and I asked for the recipe, and I still make it to this day. The only thing I haven't made it with is with sour cream because I kind of avoid the dairy stuff. But yeah, I mean, try new things. Teach, and you know what?
Teach your
my
kids.
parents taught me that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of bringing a full circle here.
Right.
Zach's been kind of quiet over there, Dana.
Oh, I know. We're making our way around. Did you have any more you wanted to add, Ashley? Or
No.
okay, Mel,
Nope.
go ahead.
All right, so I kind of actually do agree the way that this is playing out
Unfolding,
in
yeah.
our house. We didn't have junk food really, so like all the options were pretty healthy, so it was a little bit different compared to most people. Like we made black bean brownies.
I bet that's
so
good.
like that's
Those
the
are
kind
good.
of yeah.
bet
So
those are-
they are
that's
good.
the kind of treats that we would
Dense.
have, and we would go to like the movies, and we would bring like cut up fruit and like all of that. And I remember my son had a friend over, and they're like, he only eats noodles and butter, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. That's a
Like,
real
that's
thing
all
that
he
happens.
ate, and I'm
That
like,
is.
It is.
I'm like,
Noodles and butter.
what? I'm like,
Kids
I
gonna
was,
starve in your house.
and no one else cared in the house, but I was like, I'm triggered. I was triggered. I was like, I mean, he was young. I didn't say anything, but in my head, I'm like, what do you mean he only eats noodles and butter? So I guess we eat pretty healthy, but I do want to say one caveat. Now that my son is in college and he like gets all of his food from school and he can eat whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and he's unsupervised, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's I think he's rebelling a little bit because of the black bean brownies we served for his birthday. So just yeah, like
Yeah, well, they don't have good food in any school for that
yeah,
matter, because the agenda obviously isn't to keep people healthy; it's to keep them
I don't
fat,
know.
sick,
he
and
does healthy
medicated.
when he
disagree.
eats vegetables.
I
He's pretty proud of
disagree.
it, but I don't think it's a lot.
I disagree. Northern Michigan had, for 6 months, we had bison because they had a bison
Oh.
surplus. So we had bison everything. We had bison burgers. And they didn't give you the option. You had to ask for pork. They just gave you bison. So we were, of course, we're city kids. So I got a buddy from Detroit. It's early in the morning. We're sitting down. We're eating sausage. And he bit into his sausage and he said, bro, am I high or is this sausage purple? And I said, we high. So we have, bro. And he said, no, this is purple sausage. So the next day they had a Thanksgiving roast. The meat was kind of purplish. And so we went up and we said, what is this meat you all are giving us? And they said, we have a bison surplus. So we're just giving you all bison. If you don't ask for pork or beef, we're not giving you pork or beef. We're just going to feed you bison. And so I was like, that's how do you know that we don't have bison allergy? And they were like,
Nobody's got that.
Nobody has a bison allergy.
Nobody has a bison.
and they were like, hey man, we're not giving you the option is there, but we're not telling you that you can, that what we're feeding you. We're just giving you this option. And then when I realized how good bison was for you, I was like, man, Northern Michigan was really doing us a service because they did not have to give us that bison meat. They could have fed us the crap.
Yeah.
But they had this massive amount of, I mean, like the refrigerator was just full of bison meat. So they just was like, we got to get rid of it. So just feed it to the college kids.
Yeah. And it probably wasn't like GMO shit either.
No,
because
I mean,
it's bison.
No,
so
it was.
so
I mean,
good.
like
Probably legit.
we were all good. I mean, I told you about my college days, so you know I was took a lot of stamina to do all that mess I was doing. So that bison was good, baby.
All that extra protein.
I know what you're saying.
What were you saying? Him and I used to go hiking. What was that one bird you said? It's like the cow of the sky, or
Oh, Sandhill crane,
sandhill crane,
ribeye of the sky.
ribeye of
Oh.
the sky. That's what
really?
it was.
Oh my.
Interesting.
Yes. You can't shoot them here though. Every other state around us, but not here.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Lame. Zach.
All right, so y'all touched on all the shit I wrote down. To the live audience, wherever camera's on, you can go back and see I wrote this before everyone started talking. So yeah,
You want to hear the
anyway,
wisdom from the 26-year-old without kids.
Well, you know, wrote the first thing we were talking about was how you don't like food as a kid, and I just wrote your taste buds change. So you might not like it when you're 6, you might like it when you're 8, you might not like it when you're 12, and then you might like it when you're 14 again.
Or you know, with some
Yeah.
kids, it's like the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So depends. The other thought I had next was food allergies. So if your kid doesn't eat his food allergies, that's a very good thing for the body that
Right.
they can't handle it. So you're not a weak parent. And we talked about, this is before we got into the whole like good food, bad food that you're protecting them from. But as a parent, you need to protect your kids. I was that kid that was being protected. To spare you details, I would go to this like babysitter, if you will. And she was an older woman that watched her grandkids, and I was the neighbor kid. And so we would just go hang out all the time, and I'd down Pop-Tarts. And my mom found out about it, and she's like, absolutely not. So she put a kibosh to that. And so I was no longer allowed to eat Pop-Tarts. And I was
You're traumatized,
upset.
aren't you?
That is a trauma.
I was
That's a
upset
drama.
as a 6-year-old
I
kid.
remember Pop-Tarts too when I was a
That's-
kid.
That's an aggressive
So
thing.
bad.
That's a treat.
Yeah.
Sugar. Just sugar. Just
Yeah.
sugar.
And so I think that kind of back to what we were talking about earlier, or what I brought up, is that we've traded in a lot of things in society for a convenience factor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And so because of that convenience factor, we've let a lot of quality control go. And I think people feel shitty if you're doing something better than them. And so if you're a parent and protecting your kid from eating crap, they're like, well, why?
Right.
Like, oh, let him have the Pop-Tart.
Or they'd
well,
be like,
no.
well, does that make me a bad parent?
Exactly.
Yes.
And then it
Yes. Yes,
they
it
think it
does.
reflects
Yes, it
poorly on
does.
them, which
And your kid should be taken.
sometimes it does. Yeah. But I don't think it makes you a weak parent in that regard. I think it's a strong parent to have the fortitude to say, you're not eating this crap.
That's
Like,
true.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
why I originally disagreed, because that's where my brain went to.
All right, so
Yeah.
note to self, we run these questions maybe past a sample of a couple people to make sure it's clarified.
But I'm also the only one here without kids, so I was trying
I
to think
don't
of my
have
own
kids.
experience. Okay, I'm the
Oh yeah, I forgot. you didn't
one
have
of two
kids.
people at this table that doesn't have kids yet, and so I'm still very much a kid in here. So
Yeah.
that's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Was,
Insightful.
as a kid, you should be protected from crap food because you don't know any better.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and I do that a lot in my house. And what we actually did for a while, because we were talking about kids and trying foods and stuff like that. And I'm big on making my kids do that and at least trying it. And you guys know Pete the Cat? Right, if you have little kids, you probably know Pete the Cat, and he has this book, like the 3-bite rule, and there's like a song and all this crap that goes with it and stuff. And so we did, at least for a while, we instilled the 3-bite rule in our house, where it was you have to try everything that's on your plate, and you have to take at least 3 bites of it, like 3 actual bites, right? Because
Yeah.
then they try to take these tiny little bites and get away with it and stuff like that. And so I'm just always been a big proponent of like, no, like, and you make them try it over and over again, because like you said, my I'm sure at some point they said they didn't like broccoli, and I was like, okay, we're gonna have that in 3 more days. And you're gonna try it again, and you're gonna like it, and then they're gonna fuss about it, and then you do it. And my a chiropractor that I used to see, she actually told me this, that it was like, no, you actually have to have your kids try things like 100 times before they might even like them. And maybe that is the taste buds thing, and trying stuff over time, but it's important to do that. And I think we can't lose sight too of like, we're also getting to this place in culture where like kids are running the household. It's like, why does the kid get to decide? Why are parents making other meals for their kid for supper? Like they're making the mac and cheese for the kid, and then they're having their normal supper.
We
like
have
that's
so
not
much
okay.
free time.
Right.
Well, there is that. We do make up problems because we have so much free
And
time.
I see that
So
with
much
my
free
clients though too, like the whole trying to lose weight, but then having to have like snacks in the house for everyone else. I'm like, you know what? Like I'm not 100% having the other stuff because, like I said, we kept all the healthy stuff in the house. But if we wanted to get something, like a treat, we would leave the house and it would be an event. And so like
Yeah.
we would be like
Going
we're
out to
gonna
eat.
go get ice cream, or we're gonna go get frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
But it's something we're gonna go do as a family, and it's a thing.
Right.
It's just not there, and you're just not like guzzling
Right.
it down and getting your dopamine hits. And so
Right.
I think it's the same thing. Like you can clear it out and
Right.
make it a treat maybe here and there, so you don't turn into my son. I hope he's not watching this.
No, you're fine. But I don't know. The whole like kids running the household thing really just kind of bothers. I mean, what we do in our house is, I make, for the most part in the week, I make one supper or one lunch or, whatever it is. And if you don't like that, like you starve. And I literally will tell them that. I'm like, okay, well then you don't get to eat.
Right.
And that's just too bad. And then pretty much always I'd say it's probably 50-50 at this point. They either go hungry and then they eat at their next meal, or they come back, I don't know, 20 minutes later, and then they start eating. And you have to be like harsh with them. And I don't know, I'm sure there's somebody in the comments who probably hates me for just telling my kids to starve, but like, I'm not dying. I mean, we live in America. Like, come on now.
Well, they have food. Like,
Yeah,
then
we
it's-
have
like,
plenty of
it's
food. They
different if
eat
you were
all the
actually
time.
be like, you are not allowed to eat.
Right.
Because I saw that on
Yeah.
some family where she was actually sending her kids to bed without food and no option. to
Yeah,
eat.
no. That is not what
That's
we were
different.
talking about. That is
No.
abuse. That is
Yes.
abuse. What do you guys think about? What were you gonna say? I saw you. Sorry.
I was gonna say
No.
nothing.
Oh, okay, my bad. You open your mouth like I'd say, what do you guys think of the whole then? If your kid doesn't want what's to eat, then you tell them if they have it, then they get dessert, or the whole idea of rewarding with food.
Nah, because then it creates a bad habit.
I agree.
Really
Yeah.
bad correlation.
Yeah, I don't like that. And
I
my,
like to
my
do-
parents
yeah.
never did that. Like
Yeah.
they were like, nah. Like if I was like, well, can I get some cookies after I eat this? My mother would say, no, you can have that.
Yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
and we're
that,
done.
And that will be it.
And we're done. Discussion is over.
Right.
Because you're a child.
yeah.
My kids don't ask for anything because I taught them. I never rewarded them for doing what I expected of them.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, all of a sudden, I'll take them to a nice restaurant. Like we'll go someplace nice,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll bring home some avocado ice cream, or I'll surprise them because I choose, not because
Right.
they negotiated for it.
Mhm.
Right.
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 Right. And you're not a dog, so don't reward yourself with food.
Mm-hmm.
Mel, what do you see with like clients and stuff with things like this? Do you have a lot of people who come in and maybe they met some kind of goal and they do want to reward themselves with food, and you have to like kind of have them maybe do something else? Or do you see a lot of that with people that you work with, or not really?
There are some people who like to use food as reward, and I definitely, let them know that can that can be a slippery slope. And like I said, not most of the people that I'm working with aren't like at this level, so like it's kind of a different conversation. But I definitely suggest like rewarding yourself with maybe some bad TV, like something that is gonna
Bring candy.
isn't like bringing education or anything to your life, but it's just like maybe if you had a great week, you got to watch that without any guilt, or go buy yourself something, like something. Like it's good to have a reward, like if you're in that phase where you need the accountability, because obviously we want to wean them from accountability and have them take inspired action where they just love the action. But until that point, you have to wire in those habits, or do what I do and NLP their subconscious mind and stuff like that. But
Yeah. Zach, what about you? What do you see in like practice for stuff like this?
So I was going to say, speaking clinically, we give people food allergy tests because they come in with problems. And then you look at the list, and it could be as low as 5 things they can't eat, or it could be as many as I've seen 40. And they're like, well, I can't eat any of this stuff. It's like, do you want to get better? Like, you didn't come in here to pay me all this money for me to tell you to keep being unhealthy. Like, the unhealthier you are, the more money you're going to end up paying me anyway. So, yeah, sure, go eat all your shit. But you're just going to spend more time, more energy, and more effort in the long run.
and I did have
I was going to say, if they're better at eating what's not what their body doesn't want, like they're having an actual immunological response to food, and food is very emotional, and that's the problem, is we treat it as an emotional reward, not so much as fuel for the body.
Right.
And I was
It's so
gonna say,
emotional.
like with my clients, it just depends on the person too. Like there's some people who can have a couple bites of something and then they're good, they're satiated and they don't think about it anymore. And then there's some people who they can't be around it. Like for me, if there's certain foods, I just don't want them in the house, because if it's just not there, I'm fine. But you put it in the house, and even me, I will overeat. Like you have like a week's worth of chocolate, you put it in my house, I will eat it that day. That night, like I will, like
Like the cookies the last time you were here.
Yes,
I agree.
Yes, like the cookies. And you would think, you'd look at me and go, "Oh no, she does." No, I will, and that's just how I am. Not everyone is like that. So too, it just depends. Like if you never eat it and then it becomes an issue and then you binge on it later, that's one thing. But if you're someone who can't even have it in the house, because then that's the issue, you have to take each person and go like, what are your patterns with food, and then help them that way. Because that's why we didn't have stuff in the house, was mostly because of me.
Yeah,
That's
I can
good.
understand that.
I want to ask Nate here. So, being that you live kind of semi, quasi off the grid, like what does food look like in your house? Like, what's your chocolate? Like where you like what is? Like, I know you're not Amish or something where you just live in a completely different world, but I know that you are self-sustained. Like, what is
Homestead.
What's that?
What's your homestead candy?
Yeah.
Oh,
She said.
my son actually just texted me if I could pick him up some sugar-free Jolly Ranchers on my way home. So we still eat a lot of junk food, but we don't have a microwave. So things are homemade more often, like macaroni and cheese. We make it homemade. A lot of we eat clean meat. That's huge. I'm a big hunter. My son hunts. We raise our own pork and all that, so we eat clean meat. But I don't know, man. I still like cheap box of brownies, crack egg, a little bit of oil.
You
and
don't put beans in those
spoon.
brownies?
No.
No?
Dried beans, you gotta really grind them up, turn them really into anything.
It's not dried beans, is it? Isn't it like you take a can of black beans?
Just black, yeah,
Right,
regular
yeah.
black beans.
Yeah.
I typically don't eat a lot of canned.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's garbage too, because of the
Yeah.
lining and, whatever.
Yeah,
but
we don't. I mean, we have it, but we don't eat a lot of
What?
it.
You dry
I'm
fruit
just
at all?
thinking, yeah.
Like a food dehydrator? Because I used to
We do.
dry
We're
fruit
actually
make
working for
roll-ups.
a
make your own fruit roll-ups.
I want to know about this black bean brownie. I might have to talk to you after.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can Pinterest. I'm sure you can
my
Pinterest
daughter
it.
is all about making things that are just a little off. Like examples, she made cornbread up north this weekend with applesauce instead of egg, and she used all ingredients that we can have that
It's
were.
actually better with applesauce.
I like it better. It's got a little more of a sweet taste, but also I have a big, huge egg allergy, so I avoid that. But that's cool. I'm always looking for alternatives because I'm trying to get what I'm looking. I think my brain wants, but without all
I
the
feel
sugar.
like I stole it from like Dr. Oz back in the day, like way back
Hey,
in the day.
all good ideas come from the past,
Pulling
right?
up memories.
Yeah, they kind of do.
You
Don't
gotta-
reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who invented bean brownies, but like, whatever. It was probably some crunchy mom.
It
I'm
was
sure.
a Muslim. That's what it was.
He probably was.
right.
He
He was
probably
making bean brownies and bean pie.
Right. Oh,
There you go. There you go. Full circle. Full
All right.
circle.
Problem solved. Problem solved. What were you gonna say, Zach?
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh, okay. All right. My bad.
You're good.
Well, you know what? Okay, you were talking about like Homestead and everything that kind of made me think about this the whole. I mean, and you're talking about food allergies and all these things that kids want and everything too. And I think about the hyper-palatability of all the foods that we have going on too, like the junk foods and the fast foods and stuff like that. And that's obviously all very much on purpose. There's research behind exactly how much sugar needs to be in an Oreo to make it so that it tastes good and not too sugary, but gives you just the right amount of that like dopamine hit so that you're addicted to it more than you're addicted to heroin. So that's kind of like a problem that we're seeing in society too, that is just contributing to all of the body positivity nonsense probably that we're seeing, because those are probably all people eating Oreos all day long.
Yeah.
Is what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So there's that piece to consider about it too. And sugar, it's so addictive and it's so emotional. And like I mean I have pretty good discipline, but even I get that, because I get you eat like a certain food and then how you transport back to like when you were a kid and like how your grandma made it and all those things. I mean I do all that too. It's just this like, I don't know, lack of discipline that we even see in society to be able to walk away from those things or just put them down or say no in the first place. And it's hard because they taste so good. But again, that's by design and that's on purpose, because the plan is to keep you fat and sick and on the meds because you are fat and sick, because then you are easy to control.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Tinfoil hat.
And what's funny is that we actually had, so when I was working at a previous job and I was transferring over my mindset to old ways to new ways with the wellness way. And I obviously started dropping sugar, all these things, and people would always still try to get me to, people love to make you trip up.
Yeah.
When I started doing this
Yeah,
whole
they
thing, and
do.
finally I was like just in my goofy mode or whatever. And you want a donut? No. 1,000 times no, you know that. And he's like, just take one. I'm like, fine, I'll tell you what. I will eat that donut if it can tell me one good thing it's going to do for me. And I'll stick my ear and just, I'll be an ass just because they're being an ass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear anything. And all of a sudden they just stopped asking me. You know what I mean? But like they can't get it. It's almost like they want to bring you
Right.
to their level.
Yep.
So they don't
Yeah.
have to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Or they like take it personally. And it's like
Yeah.
they shouldn't be taking it personally if you are just trying to take care of yourself.
Oh, when you eat clean, I mean, can we all agree on this? If you're trying to do something right and you're trying to grow with your diet or lose weight, whatever it is, and you go back to your old people like that you hang out with and they can't get their head around it. They can't understand it.
Yeah.
No.
It sucks. I mean, my wife and I have to like meal plan all the time. Finally, our family and people, and we hang out with a lot, they'll actually go, well, what are your allergies again? Like, what can you have? What can't you have? They finally started to come around, but it took years.
Mm-hmm.
They would try to pull you back or make fun of you, like my brother. I love him. Hey, Troy. But he'll make fun of me, like, hey, you put some essential oils on that. Like, do you even know what I do? Like, do you, really? Is that the best you got? Put essential
carry
oils
a
on my
gun,
salad?
dude.
What's that?
I said I carry a gun, dude. That's what I would say.
Yeah, he knows that too. But
Yeah.
Everybody is pretty much Wesley Snipes in the Bad video with Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson is trying to get his life together. He's left the hood. He's trying to be the good scholarly student. And then here's Wesley Snipes, rude, disrespectful, just won't let Michael Jackson be the scholar that he wants to be. So now he's got to dance. Now he's got to come back into color and dance on everybody's ass. So yeah, no, and I agree with you about the cookies, because I have to buy cookies and put them in my home so that I can tell myself, don't eat those cookies. Because if I eat them, I will be in the big butt parade. That's what will happen. So I have to buy like chocolate and I put it in there. But I do that for my own self-discipline because I know that if you have to build up willpower, you have to tell yourself, I'm not going to eat that because I know what it's going to do to me. So I'll have a couple, but I'm not about to eat like crazy.
I did that at work. Like when I worked at the YMCA, when you work somewhere like that, everyone that's coming in brings in all of this stuff.
Yes.
There's always cookies. There's
Yes.
always, whether it's the staff, whether it's members coming in, there's so much food. And there was a while where I actually had a eating disorder. So that's kind of like the bigger thing is like if I around certain foods, it can trigger that.
Yeah.
So I made a rule that I just didn't eat anything at work that I didn't bring. It just became a rule. Like so it was never I never
is
had
a
to
good
go
rule.
in and go,
Yeah.
am I going to or am I not going to? Is the question that would start to deteriorate my ability to say no because
Right.
you got that willpower. You ask someone 10 times, 15 times, pretty soon they're going to break. And so for me, it was like it was never a yes. It was always a no. And I never ate, and like after a while, people just stopped asking me. And that's what I had to do. And it was definitely a lot of willpower.
Boundaries.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm the opposite. I'm a very disciplined shopper, but I'm extraordinarily undisciplined at home. So if I don't buy it in the store, I can't eat it.
Right.
Which is how I operated 90% of my life, with the exception of undergrad, because I was
undergrad.
an unhealthy
That's the
little
way to go.
person in undergrad. I shouldn't say little; I was massive. I was 250 pounds at one point.
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, that was a fun time too. Just a little sidebar. I did 75 hard twice in a row.
Oh my gosh,
Shouldn't
that was-
recommend that. It destroys your hormones. Don't do that twice in a row. But anyway, because one of the tenets of 75 hard is not to drink. The first 6 months of chiropractic school, I wasn't drinking because I was doing 75 hard. So everyone at chiropractic school, even 3 years later, like, oh, are you drinking? It's like they just knew me and they met me as this kid who just didn't drink because I was doing this challenge. And so their opinions will stick eventually, and they'll actually start to like they still assume that. They're like, oh, are you drinking today? It's like, well, maybe, but you just assume I'm not because that's how you met me.
Right.
And so that first impression of it was super like it imprinted on them very well that this is how I want to live my life, and that's how I achieve success personally.
I can't see you at 250.
I'll show you a photo. I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a photo of me at 214.
Should we put it in the, I'm just kidding. I have to correct you on one thing because I am a very, very huge Andy Frisella fan and I want him to come on the podcast. And I'm working on doing
it's
that.
a great thing for self-discipline. Don't get me wrong.
But it is not a program. It is a mental toughness, or it's not a
100%.
challenge. It's a mental toughness
I agree.
program.
I agree with that.
Hey, Andy.
Can I be here when he comes on? I think
I'm not a
I'm
hoe,
just
I
saying
share the
doing
show.
it twice in a row with no break in between.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. I'm doing phase 1 right now.
Good for you.
Yeah, I've never done phase 1 before. I did 75 hard 2 years ago. I was actually just going to talk about it too because I
Okay.
did 75 hard 2 years ago for like the first time because I needed a kick in the ass and some mental toughness. And then a little while ago, let's see, right kind of like at the beginning of July, I started doing 75 hard, and I had like been thinking about it. Honestly, the hardest part of that whole thing is just saying yes to it in the first place. But I remember
so
like the
daunting
week.
from day one.
What?
It just appears so daunting when you're at day one.
Yeah, it
just
does. And then
endless.
it just becomes like kind of part of your life, and then you're a better person. But I remember, because that was the beginning of July, and I remember also like purposely not waiting till the next week because we had Doc's 4th of July party that weekend. I was like, nope. I'm gonna be tough. I'm not gonna have. I mean, he doesn't have shit food at his house anyway. But I knew that there was gonna be stuff that
Happy
I could
Bellies
eat
is
there.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
Happy Bellies is gonna be there. All those things. I did that on purpose, knowing there were gonna be a couple times in here that I was gonna have to say no to Happy Bellies just because I wanted to put myself through that mental toughness.
Yeah, so I should probably put an asterisk on I did 75 hard twice in a row. So
why
one of the
did you do
component is making a diet plan for yourself and sticking to it. Well, my diet plan was 1,800 calories. And I was running almost 10 miles 3 times a week. I was doing 5Ks daily and lifting 45 minutes every day. So the human body is not meant to survive on that little caloric intake with that much caloric output.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about the wellness by hormones or anything like that at the time, but
Right.
Yeah, no, you still
it
gotta be,
was
like,
really,
smart
really
about what you're
good
doing.
mentally because I was in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
And I should do it again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you should.
shameless plug for Andy.
Holy shit.
and this is
Yikes.
214. This is even
Yeah.
250. I don't have photos when I was
Dang.
250 because I
Because you didn't want
like
to take photos of yourself because you were 250.
Precisely.
But yeah, basically.
Pass that around.
Yeah.
assuming it stays on.
I've never been like a big person. Only at the most I've only
Yeah.
been like gain weight in certain areas.
Good for you.
But as soon as I saw it from a distance. It was amazing. But
Is that big?
Bowling ball.
but I've never been big, so it's like, and I don't even come from like my father. Like I said, my mother would crack on him, but he's not even the big guy. But I mean, the biggest I ever got was eating those cookies. I'm telling you. And I worked at this environment where all we did was sat around. It was a bunch of women. It was a social service agency. They ate. They was in their 60s. It was a bunch of black grandmamas saying, "Baby, eat some more. I'm about to bring you something. Eat some of this." So and then it was one day this 63-year-old woman said to me, "Damn, you got a big old booty." And I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "Yeah, you jiggling back there." And I was like, "Okay, that's enough. If the old women are starting to notice, then I got to stop because
Yeah.
something's going wrong." And that's
They
when
call it like it is.
And
Well,
that's
did you
when
at
I
least twerk for
decided-
a little bit?
I would never. And that was when I said, "You're gonna bring those cookies in the house, and you're gonna force yourself to not eat those cookies. You're gonna look at those cookies every day, and you are going to know that is your problem. And when you lose the weight you need to lose, you can have a cookie, but you will not have all these cookies." And luckily, COVID happened. And then we get on the call, and people are saying, "I miss you guys. I'm so sad. Oh my God, I can't wait till we get back into the office. Everyone, I miss you." And they were like, "Larry, how do you feel?" I said, "Man, I am the sexiest motherfucker I have been in my life." I said, "Y'all should see these abs. Look at this body is on point." I was like, "Y'all want to see? Y'all want to look at how I look?" And they were like, "Larry, it's COVID. You don't want to tell us anything sad?" I said, "Yeah, it's sad. I can't eat cookies for a while because I'm looking like this now. Look at all this. Look at how I look."
That's awesome. Does anybody ever go shopping and then like get their like mine always was Garden of Eatin' the lime chips? Do you ever?
those are
Do you ever?
Oh, the
do you
like
ever grab
tortilla
'em?
with the
Yeah, and then you bring them home and you're like, you don't
yeah.
even eat them because you feel guilty that you bought them, or is that just me? I don't know.
No, that's just.
I don't even know what Garden of Eating lime chips
Oh
are.
my!
Oh, it's a brand.
You're coming over.
Okay.
Right, it's
Come
like the
over, we're
tortilla
having-
with the hint of
Yeah.
Yeah,
lime.
hint of
Like
lime.
yeah, but you got to look for the ones that have the extra seasoning on there, and there's only 2 of them per bag, so you better get them.
I know it's
Yeah.
true.
Never
But-
had 'em.
Oh, you will love them, man. It's
They're
clean.
good, man.
It's clean eating.
They're actually good. They're not like sucky tortilla chips like how tortilla
Yeah.
chips
But
always are.
I've learned when I do stuff like that. I've learned if I eat, my wife and I will eat something before we go to the grocery store. Otherwise, I'm gonna probably
Oh,
pack on
yeah.
$100
Yeah.
worth
Yeah.
of groceries. Well,
Yeah.
now $200 because of inflation. Thanks, Biden.
Yeah.
Bidenomics. Hashtag.
I was just thinking, going to a grocery store. I was with our other intern here. Her name's Kira. Shout out Kira if you're watching. She
What
probably
up, Kira?
She probably went
Hey.
to bed already. We were in Woodman's yesterday, and we had the most wellness way cart ever. It was literally grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef,
Sauerkraut.
bananas, organic. No, we already have the sauerkraut.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's just like
Oh, sorry.
stacks on stacks on stacks. Like the bison, yeah, that's just in the fridge. We just have sauerkraut.
So good for you guys.
And we had goat cheese and manchego in the cart, and we were just looking at other people like, this is our cart, like
Yeah. Oh,
all
my
good
God.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just seeing the soda, the chips, the
Yeah.
shit that looks like it's fake with like the blue 40 and
Yeah.
the red 5 and whatever the fucking numbers are anymore.
Yellow 5.
Yeah.
And
Whatever.
it's just a state of people just self-indulge,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I commend you for bringing it into the house because I could not.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have that willpower. I think that's the convenience factor of it would make it too hard to not eat.
And you know what's interesting is this. I remember when I was working for the labor unions and I was working in politics, they had did the sugar tax in Chicago, right? And it was Cook County President Tony Preckwinkle. And they had did the sugar tax. And so the goal of the sugar tax was to put a tax on sugary products in order for people to not buy them. But the problem was the people who utilize them the most are getting WIC and food stamps. So it didn't do anything. It only hurt, like, it would have hurt this table. Like, we wouldn't have been able to buy it. But then we all probably would have said, well, I don't even want that shit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
So we
want
probably
it.
don't buy it anyway.
Right, so we would have been
doesn't
like, who
affect us
cares?
anyway.
We don't want it anyway. So it really didn't, all it did is it just made more money for the state. Because in the end, all the people who are on the WIC and food stamps, they were packing up their carts with the same stuff, the Pepsi, the Coke, the sugary cereal products. And so the state was like, well, yeah, go ahead, keep.
They knew that prior.
But yeah.
They knew that prior.
Because they did it in Philadelphia, and the same situation happened 3 months earlier.
Cleaning money.
Exactly. And then they got rid of it, and the only thing that they did was people were like, well, if you're getting rid of the sugar tax, well, how are we going to bring in all this revenue? How are we going to do this? They even had the people, the citizens that were sick, fighting, saying, how are we going to bring in revenue? What are we going to do? And I'm like, that's amazing. They're trying to kill you. They're literally trying to kill you with this tax, and you're fighting. You're coming on television fighting to be a person that's dying because of the government.
If you believe the government is out for your health, then you should really look at what they did during COVID. Why were gyms shut down and McDonald's open?
Exactly.
Right.
And that's all I have to ask
Or liquor
people.
stores.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Just whatever the government says, just
Do the
95% of the time do the opposite.
95,
Population
probably
control.
That includes
Yeah,
the laws.
okay, well,
that
that
includes
too.
the laws. You should still kill all of that. That's right. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. I do feel that we would benefit from getting rid of all rules for like 2
All
weeks.
warning labels.
Oh
Get 'em
yeah,
out.
and all that
Gone.
too.
Gone.
Just get rid of all of it for like 2 weeks, and we will find out very quickly what rules
Survival of
actually
the fittest.
matter.
Yeah. Well, the biggest rule that would matter 100%. Larry needs that big boob, big breast,
Oh,
big
God.
titty,
Parade.
big ass parade.
We will work
in
on
October.
a flag for you for that. So
That
the
has
next
to-
time you are here,
Hey,
you'll be
and-
able
and-
to
and I-
loud
and
and
That's
proud.
October, right
Wait a
before
minute.
No
Wait a
Shave
minute.
November.
Wait a minute. And I want to clear this up because I think there are some B cups and some C cups that don't understand, right? So wait. There's a weight and height distribution situation too here, right? So you can have B cups if you're 4'11", or like 4'8". That's okay. You can. That's fine. But if you're 6 foot, maybe you got C's or D's, right? But if you are going to be a bigger girl, E's and G's.
Well, I mean that is kind of fair.
Oh my God.
Where else you
It's like
put-
a
where else
5
you
foot
put- where
tall
else you
guy
putting
with
that weight?
13 with size 13 feet.
Right. He's weird.
Weird.
Right. And who wants him? Right. But if he's 5'7" and he's got a 14-inch, whatever,
Foot.
then he's
Whatever.
Then not getting it anyway.
right, because most women don't.
They were
get
like, no.
one time and then they're done with him.
Not
But-
even
It was
all the
just for
way.
fun.
Not even all the way one time.
Yeah, just the tip. Just the tip.
But yeah, if we can make that a law, and then I'll give the range, the scales, and how it works, and then the rest of the women who are not
I think
as well
most of the
endowed.
men will see eye to eye with that as well, though.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah, I'm just more concerned where their eyes are looking.
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking it's time for the
I'm,
final
I'm
thought.
kind of thinking it's about. I was ready to wrap up. I was just waiting for the jokes to end. I'm just very polite about letting everybody get their jokes in. That's
This
that's
isn't
it.
a joke.
I want to thank you for that.
He's being dead.
You thought this was a joke? This is an
Serious.
initiative.
He's got a series. Will you sign this?
Yeah. I have a petition in the car. I'll bring it in so that everyone can sign it. I do need 1,000
She
signatures.
won't do anything
this
until
I want you
they
to bring
have
that
a
on
flag.
November 11th.
Look, we believe in freedom, and we never ever demonize a man for his preferences either.
Get your signatures by November 7th when you come back here.
I will.
Yeah, you do
Definitely.
that. You do
I am.
that.
I'm going to get it. I already have 500.
You
I
have
just-
to now. Now you.
I just
have
have.
You better show up with that.
And I've got a lot of women who've signed on too. Like
Yeah.
a lot.
Obviously,
now,
Nate's-
I will
Nate's
say it's
name
a
on there.
lot of big girls.
well,
It's
yeah.
a lot of big girls who
Yeah.
signed on because they have the breast and butt. But I say I can't discriminate. If you got it, you got it.
You
You
got
could
it.
probably host it here.
That's
and
right.
then you'd get a referral bonus.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
Look at that. And then you guys can get them back into shape, and then they can have thin bodies
Yeah.
and large breasts and butts. Look
I know.
at that.
Problem solving. That's why we bring men. That's why we bring men around. Problem solvers. All right. Final thoughts from everybody. Zach, let's start with you. The rational one.
I don't even know.
I know. I'm
I
like,
don't know how to end. I don't know how to transition anything from that conversation with some semblance of logic.
Just anything left that you wanted to say, or any closing remarks, anything you want.
I think that if you're not progressing, you're regressing. So you should always be working towards something you want, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. Working towards your whatever you deem a priority in your life. Hopefully they're positive priorities, but people have negative priorities that they're trying to work towards. and you really should focus on yourself first. And I'm not talking about in a body positivity kind of way. I'm talking about like making yourself better for society, making yourself better for your family, making yourself better for yourself. And whatever that takes, you should be willing to go that far, because you're only going to get as far as you let yourself.
Nice. Nate? Into the mic. There you go. Or not.
Maybe not into the mic. My thoughts sometimes, No, I got nothing.
That's fine. You got it all out. Good.
Well, I'm going to end with Lorenzo's coming over to my house to have some banana boat tacos with bell peppers.
Oh.
You got to try it. I'll tell you what, you bring that bean pie you're talking about, I'll make them. My wife makes the best. And you got to try it once, and I'll never bother you about it again.
You got it. I got to go to Chicago soon anyway, so.
Right, deal.
Yeah.
Deal.
You got it.
Deal.
I will grab
So you
you.
can get a pie?
I will grab you. I will grab a couple of bean pies.
There
Okay,
go.
you do that.
I'll
You
try
bring
it.
them
I'll
to
try
the
anything
office.
once. All right, so I wrote down some notes. I left my notebook in my office, so that's my bad. But I wrote down furries, LGBTQ. What? Hold on, I'm getting there.
This is in your notes.
Yeah, this is my final thought. So furries, LGBTQ TV 9+ whatever. Racism.
HGTV.
Yeah, whatever it is now. It's probably changed since the podcast started.
Probably.
We got racism, body positivity, 1 million denominations for church. We got victimhood, obesity, porn addictions, sugar addictions, trafficking, inflation, feminism, toxic masculinity, crazy taxes. How are we doing?
Pretty good.
He's over there.
You're
thinking about
saying that
big
with the
booty, big
assumption that we're going to
breasted
have
women.
that parade. But I digress. But how are we doing as a nation?
Shitty.
So I want to tell you what. You know what? This handsome stud here, he mentioned discipline. I'm always that guy that brings things back to faith. And we've definitely let those two go because we think we know what's best because we're thinking with our flesh.
Mm-hmm.
We need discipline. We need order. We need faith. And I'm going to stick to that. That's my dying breath word. Whether you agree or disagree, that's okay. But until we get back to some of the basic block and tackling of life, we're going to keep going down this pattern or this path. But I appreciate you guys all being on here today. You guys all had amazing opinions. And whether I agree or disagree, you guys are all good people. And I'm just blessed to be sitting here with you guys today.
Awesome. Lorenzo?
So I'll be very serious. I'm always very comical and cracking jokes.
And we thank you for that.
Yeah.
Don't laugh.
Why not?
Because I'm being serious. So hold on. I'm gonna try to be serious.
Okay, there we go.
So what I was gonna say is that I do think that a lot of the stuff that we talked about today, it does come down to how we view ourselves, and then what we protrude out, what we exude out to others, and then I guess if we're not getting the feedback that we want, then we change ourselves up for these people. Like you all have said before about the women, and most of the time that women are putting on makeup for other women. I personally, I understand that. I think that's unfortunate because I think that a lot of women should just put on makeup like how you said. You just like to put on makeup just to be pretty, right? That's for you. I think more women should do more of that. I really hate that that's why women are doing that, because it makes me think, man, we have that many women who have that kind of self-confidence, low self-confidence about themselves. They have to put on makeup to look good for these other piece of shit women out here who don't even care about them. It's probably some man that's sitting there that's been ogling you all night when you was looking like nothing, but you putting on makeup for these hoes. It's like, for what? But I get it. That's a woman thing. That's not us. We don't typically do that, but I know that that's another thing. But I really wish that more women just had more better positive, ideas about themselves so that they wouldn't have to think, like that. But that's something else. But I really do wish that more of us just had better images of ourselves. We cared more about ourselves. We cared more about our health. We didn't care about what was on social media. We didn't care about what other people are saying. We didn't care about being a part of whatever the crowd is. Then we would actually do better things for ourselves, right? And forget what other people are saying. So it's really unfortunate that the makeup thing, the food thing, even that is even with the parents and the food thing, it all comes down to like what other people are thinking, right? I'm concerned about what my kids are eating because of what your kids may not be eating or what you may be feeding your kids. Why does it matter, right? And if you have a better option, why shouldn't a parent listen to your option and say, you know what, that makes sense. Why am I not listening to another, especially if you're eating healthy, right? And your kid's not sick, they're not missing school, they're not having all these problems. Why would a parent then say, oh, this motherfucker over here thinks she's better than me? Well, you know what? You know what this motherfucker should say? Motherfucker, I am better than you.
Yep.
So how about that? And my kids are better than you, and they're going to be better than you.
Yep.
But unfortunately, you say that, now you're a bitch, and this person is a victim, and they've been traumatized, because they're going to say that that's trauma. They are going to say that. Yeah, you traumatized me. But I really feel like it's unfortunate that that's the situation that we have. There's so much poor body image, and there's so much poor way we think about ourselves that we're doing all these things. I even see it in just not even with makeup, and just in our everyday interactions with each other. How men feel about themselves is why they're not able to treat women with respect. How women feel about themselves is why they're not able to find decent men. It's just unfortunate. But I think that when we have the big breast, big ass parade, this will all change because we will all find each other in harmony.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ashley. Follow that.
Shit. Final thought, kind of going back to priorities and all of that kind of stuff. I think the biggest thing that society needs is the traditional household back. The two-parent household where both parents respect each other. They put their marriage first. I am not putting my children first, and some people may look at that as I am a horrible mom, but tough shit. I am putting my marriage to my husband first, besides myself, obviously, but my kids then will see that we have a loving relationship. We have a healthy relationship because, yes, we do fight, obviously. But we can overcome those arguments, and they will see how we can overcome them and build a stronger relationship for our kids to see. And then hopefully they'll carry that on, because when I grew up, my parents did not have a healthy relationship whatsoever. And their marriage ended in divorce, and my mom was not the greatest parent at all. And I told myself I wasn't going to do that. And I think that more households need to get in line with that.
I agree.
Good thoughts.
Yep.
Mel.
It's past my bedtime.
Oh, same.
That's my final words.
Oh, same. We're solidly an hour past my bedtime.
I can barely keep my eyes open. I'm not gonna lie.
Some of us probably have to pee pretty soon too, because it's almost 10 o'clock.
Before you speak, I just want to give you a hand. Dana, you did awesome.
Oh,
honestly,
thanks.
you kept this in line, you kept this flowing, and it was a blessing to sit to
Oh, thank you.
your left.
Yes, you are to my left.
High five, sis.
Well, I'm glad that you guys were all here too. I'm glad I did not have a dead bunch of people to have to keep talking to, because that would have just been really awful. So I'm glad that you guys were so lively. You all had such good thoughts and input and differences in what you thought. And so I'm just so glad that you were all able to come here and take time out of your day and speak your mind. And I've talked about this before, and I don't want anybody to think of this as just a podcast. What this really is a 250-year plan to affect culture and affect generations that are years and years and decades from now. Because if we can talk about all the things that we need to, and we can shift culture, then other things like politics just can come downstream from there. And that's ultimately what we want to do, and just have everybody raise their standard of what they think a high-value American is. So thank you guys all for being here tonight. Thank you to everybody who was watching online tonight. Make sure you are liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing our show. Doc, we missed you tonight, but we will see you back next week. Good night, everybody.